flavors that don't take hours in the kitchen? Mrs. Grissom's cheese spreads and chicken salads are the perfect go-to. Ready-to-eat meals and snacks found in the meat or dairy section at your local grocery store. Whether you crave the classic Mrs. Grissom's pimento cheese or the gluten-free select varieties like the cranberry pecan chicken salad, enjoy small-town flavor in every bite. Select the best. Select Mrs. Grissom's.
Soreness, bumps, and bruises are a part of everyday life, whether you're a Vol or not. Surgery can be too, even for weekend warriors. Something that can get you back to feeling your best is therapeutic massage. If you've had surgery or are feeling the wear and tear of life, give our friends at In Touch Massage Knoxville a visit. They have a hand-picked staff and offer a clinical focus for folks going through joint replacement and cancer treatment. They serve neurological patients like those being treated for MS, ALS, and Parkinson's. Their staff even includes a lymphedema specialist. Plus, they offer a great relaxation massage. Don't ignore your pain any longer. Let the therapists from In Touch Massage Knoxville help. Located just west of downtown Knoxville at 601 South Concord Street, or find them online at intouchmassagenknoxville.com and on the phone at 865-236-1425.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain event.
Guess what time it is? My time. You can check your iPhone. Better say it's our time.
With your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 pounds and a Rick Flair.
It is Wednesday, the best day of the week. 3 minutes past the top of the hour, the 20th of November, which means Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Missouri this weekend. Lady Vols get a big-time win last night. Was it really a big-time win, or do we call every win a big-time win?
Who would you rather have next season, Tim Jordan or Ty Chandler? Oh, I remembered. I'm not letting you off the hook. I'll let you think about it. Last night was a win. It was a win for the Lady Vols. Stetson is not very good, but if you will remember back to last season, Tennessee played Stetson, and Stetson led the Lady Vols by 20 at one point around halftime, and it looked like it was probably going to be the worst loss in program history. They were able to turn it around and come back and win under Holly Warlick. So there were some bad memories last night when the Lady Vols took on Stetson, and the players and Kelly Harper said that they talked about it. Kelly Harper obviously wasn't the one coaching last year, but said that she made sure to point it out and ask the players if she remembered or if they remembered the game from last year. And she said that they all said yes emphatically, and she quickly moved on. She just wanted to make sure that they remembered last year, and then she moved on. So I guess in a way it was a good win last night because they didn't let what happened last year happen again.
Man, I see a whole lot of smiles on the court. Girls are playing hard, great defense, rebounding. Stetson, and I was cooking dinner while the game was going on. I was showing out in the kitchen yesterday, man. I was showing out. But I was cooking dinner, and so I didn't get a chance to really just sit there and just watch the game without any interruptions. I was kind of in and out, but Stetson had a player with a beautiful stroke, man, from three. Oh man, it was pretty. I think she had some dreads or something like that. Pulled back in a ponytail.
Was it the leading scorer for them?
Man, she got a pretty stroke.
Danisha. Fun fact: her and Renaya Davis if this is the player that you're talking about. But
It's her.
Stetson's leading scorer.
Like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and she had 21 last night. I believe her name is Danisha Banks. But her and Renaya Davis were high school teammates there in Jacksonville, Florida, and they won 3 state championships together and a national championship. Renaya made sure to point that out last night following the game when she was asked about those two guarding each other, being high school teammates and whatnot. And she was asked how many state championships they won. And she was quick to point out that not only did they win 3 state championships, but they also won a national championship.
That reminds me. So when I was in 8th, 9th grade, somewhere around there, Butler High School in Huntsville, Alabama, there's no Butler anymore, but Butler High School in Huntsville, Alabama, had the best high school girls basketball team in the country. They were featured on the front of a Wheaties box, and they were beating teams, and I'm not exaggerating, Ben,
Oh, I remember.
by 100 points. The score was like 120 to 20. They were beating teams down. They had 5 players. Their starting 5 all got D1 scholarships. One of their players got a scholarship here at Tennessee, Tashika Morris, but she did not last long here at Tennessee. But, man, that reminds me a little bit of Renaa Davis's team. But, yeah, that player from Stetson, man, she has a pretty stroke. That's one thing that caught my eye about that game.
I'm glad one had a pretty stroke because there were 2 or 3 young women that looked like they had never shot a basketball before in their life. Like one shot it with one hand from the 3-point line at one point.
It'd be like that sometimes.
And one, like, catapulted it over her head and, like, threw it at the backboard.
Yeah, it'd be like that. Yeah, I also got some shots up myself.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah, man.
Are you preparing for Rodney?
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, I was training like Rocky, man. I'm not joking. I was in the gym yesterday getting buckets preparing for Rodney, who, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Rodney's a loyal listener, lives in Austell, Georgia, and he has challenged me to a game of basketball.
The dumbest decision of his life.
So I'll be serving him pancakes like Prince after the game.
Interesting.
That's what I'll be doing. I'll be serving him pancakes because he's going to take an L. All right, so you want me to answer your little question, huh?
Oh, my little question,
Your little
huh?
funky question?
My little funky question. You
Yeah.
thought you were off the hook yesterday when the show ended. I thought about it all day yesterday. I made sure to periodically think about it so that I could ask you first thing off of today's show.
So your question is, which running back would I rather have between Tim Jordan and Ty Chandler? Yesterday, we had someone on the text box ask or make a comment about potential transfers at the running back position because T. Hodges brought up Tennessee's going to recruit 2 running backs this class, and Tennessee already has 3 right now, so that would put us at 5 next year with senior Tim Jordan, senior Ty Chandler, sophomore Eric Gray, and then the 2 freshmen. So in the climate of college football right now, guys transfer. Guys want to go and play. Don't want to be third when you're upperclassmen. We've seen Tavion Feaster transfer out of South Carolina to South Carolina. Tavion Feaster transfer out of Clemson to South Carolina. And then South Carolina had a running back transfer out who went to BYU. His name is
Tyson Williams.
And we've seen that domino effect. So, which brings me to my answer to Ben's question of which running back would rather have between Ty Chandler and Tim Jordan. Both are juniors. And if Eric Gray progresses in the offseason and gets down pass blocking and he plays a lot, and he's second in the rotation, then that would put a senior third. And I doubt that senior would want to be third in the rotation. So, who would I rather have? This is a tough question. Maybe you already have your answer, Ben. Oh, you thought you was going to ask it and not be able to answer, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. No, it doesn't work that way. Here's my issue. Tim Jordan, when he runs the football, he gets tough yards. He breaks tackles. He fall forward. He does that better than anyone else on this roster. He pass blocks better than anyone else on this roster. That's his strength.
Mm-hmm.
Weakness, he's not going to make anybody miss like the other two guys. Doesn't have the 1 foot cut ability that a Ty Chandler or Eric Gray possess. But he's solid. He's going to run tough. He's going to run hard. Ty Chandler gives you more of the 1 foot cut ability, can make guys miss, but he's been loose with the football, catching swing passes, and he's fumbled a couple times earlier in the season. Has not been a problem lately. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, but he's not going to pick up tough yards like Tim Jordan. He's not. I don't know, man.
That is my answer. I don't know. I don't know who I would rather have. Now, if you were to put your feet in the shoes of David Johnson, we'll assume that he is the running backs coach next year, or just put your feet in the shoes of a running back coach in general, what do you think that you would value the most? I mean, they as you kind of laid out there, Ty Chandler and Tim Jordan both have different strengths and weaknesses. Which do you value more?
I value Tim Jordan's strengths the most. Pass blocking, ball security. I value them over the explosive plays. I do. Now, I've not seen Tim Jordan catch swing passes like Ty Chandler, probably because we don't run him because he's in there. I don't know if that's a weakness of his or coaches don't feel confident in him, but I have not seen him run the same screen swing passes that Ty Chandler ran this season and Eric Gray. But I value ball security above everything else. Ball security and then pass protection. I will pull a Trent Dilfer from his time at ESPN. You can't lose in the NFL and still win.
That is true.
What do you say?
Trent.
You can't win in the NFL and still lose. One of the two. Point being, and I understood what he was trying to say, is the first thing that matters more than anything else when you're playing a sport is not beating yourself.
You cannot lose games in the NFL and still win.
That's what he said. That's what he said. You know, Booger McFarland on Monday Night Football talked about the Patriots and how the Patriots, they play mistake-free football is better than anyone else in the league. They've been doing this for nearly 2 decades under Bill Belichick. And he made the point that games in the NFL are lost and not won. Give me a quarterback, number one, protects the football. Give me a running back, number one, who protects the football. Give me a receiver, number one, who can catch and protect the football. Give me a point guard who can protect the basketball. Limiting mistakes is the most important thing. Not turning the football over or the basketball over is the most important thing. Everything else is secondary and so on. So for me, yeah, Ty Chandler is more valuable because he does a better job of protecting the football and helps in pass pro, which also helps with eliminating mistakes and turnovers, because if we can't protect the quarterback, we're talking about a sack, fumble, something like that. So
yeah, Tim Jordan is more valuable, is what you're saying. You said Ty Chandler.
Yeah, Tim Jordan will be more valuable for me if I am the running back coach. But I like big plays too. You got to have big plays. When you coach in the SEC, when you play in the SEC, it's not going to be drawn up perfectly. There's going to be unblocked defenders, and you got to make them miss. The good ones here can do that. The good ones here, playing running back, can make unblocked defenders miss. And you have to do that too.
The one thing that you definitely would be losing, and I don't know how big of a loss it is, but if Ty Chandler were to move on, you would be losing your starting kick returner as well, which he hasn't necessarily had a huge return of late. It seems like Tennessee's coaches really like calling for the fair catch, even if it isn't in the end zone. But even when he has had a return this season, unless I'm just completely forgetting about a return, it doesn't feel like he's had just a dynamic return this year. But that's still experience from one of your players, and just simply fielding the kickoff.
When you are covering this program, this athletic program, and you live in Knoxville, you can tend to see things from Tennessee's point of view more times than not. You can be accused of having some favoritism. We've seen this with the Graciano situation. We've seen it with a lot of things that Tennessee Athletic Department has kind of been in the crosshairs on national media. We see things a little bit more. We understand a little bit more what's going on. And I'm looking at the Memphis and Tennessee rivalry, the Penny versus Rick Barnes. And I'll be honest, man, I am completely shocked by the stance of some of the Memphis media in defending Penny Hardaway over the last couple months. I am actually absolutely shocked. And some terrible takes went out yesterday from Memphis in trying to make sense of why the Memphis-Tennessee rivalry is going to be discontinued after next year's game in Nashville. You're trying to put this on Rick Barnes? We'll talk about that coming up next. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
The holidays are right around the corner, which means holiday party season will be here before you know it. This year, how about a dead-end rendition on your holiday tradition? Get festive at your holiday party with a catered meal from Dead End Barbecue. Their holiday menu offers traditional dishes with a dead-end twist, like their smoked turkey breast and cornbread dressing. To find out more about how Dead End can help you with your holiday party, give them a call at 865-212-5655 or email catering at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The holiday party menu search is over.
You know what? The holiday season reminds me of SEC football. You need touchdowns over turnovers. So let me tell you about my friends who are ready to help. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union is ready to help you make this holiday season special for you and your family. They offer a special holiday loan at a very low interest rate and affordable payment to help you make those purchases for your family this holiday season. Oh, I get it. You're going all out this year. You're going to get that car, that boat, motorcycle, or camper for that special someone in your life. Alcoa 10 has the lowest interest rates around. They have money ready to lend you to help you make this holiday season one you would never forget. The process is fast, easy, and painless, and the decisions are made local, so you gotta give the loan experts at Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union a call, 865-977-3118, or check them out and apply online, atfcu.com. Better rates, better service, Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. ATFCU is an equal housing lender.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. You pull over, step out of your car, and the next thing you know, you're being arrested for driving under the influence. Now what do? We all should be responsible. But remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza at 865-540-8300. The investigative teams at the Garza Law Firm know the justice system inside and out. They utilize cutting-edge technologies and investigative methods to prepare your specific case. Before you plead guilty to any criminal charges, call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza. Put his number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty. Say Garza. 865-540-8300. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
Gentlemen, are you feeling tired and grumpy? It could be low T, or it could be sleep apnea. Millions of men not only suffer from low T, but also undiagnosed sleep apnea. Low T Center provides a complete health assessment to check all of your levels. And right now, they're offering a $49 home sleep test to find out if you have sleep apnea in the comfort of your own bed. Low T Center makes it quick and easy to take care of your health. And most health insurance is accepted. Call 865-392-1388 or go to lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey there, Swain event listeners. It's football time in Tennessee. While you're cheering on the Vols, you might be thinking, I would love to buy a home with a great place to entertain for games. Or maybe you're thinking, I'm tired of hosting all of these people at my house and we don't need all this space anymore. Whatever your plans may be, when you are ready to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, call me, Jennifer Morris, at Keller Williams Realty, 865-694-5904, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com, and go Vols.
You're listening to the Swain event.
And you know this, man.
Hour one is powered by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Live from the Low T Center studio, Swain event, swainevent.com. I don't know why this is so hard. I really don't. Why is it so hard to just keep it real? Keep it real and be honest. I don't understand why this is so hard. Apparently it is. Rick Barnes, a few days ago, spoke about the Memphis-Tennessee rivalry. And they played last year. They will play this year. And then next year it will be a neutral site game, and that will be the end of that series. And you can renew it, but Rick Barnes, in speaking on that subject, said that he doesn't see it happening. And that brought out some of the worst takes I've seen in a long time. First bad take. Oh, Rick Barnes is scared. How old are we? Are we grown-ups here, or are we in middle school?
Apparently in middle school.
Are we in elementary? When you want someone to do something, when you are in elementary school or middle school, what do you say? Oh, you scared.
Oh, you're a chicken.
Oh, I bet you won't do it. I bet you. I bet you $1. I bet you $1 you won't do it. That's a middle school tactic. Oh, you scared. You're scared. Scared of what? What is Rick Barnes scared of? He's scared of playing against a team that may or may not have ineligible players, that may or may not have to vacate the win, even if Memphis wins the game. What are you scared of? Rick Barnes, I know you're not trying to say Rick Barnes is scared of competition, because I remember vividly Rick Barnes scheduling games against North Carolina, Gonzaga, when he has brought a spoon to a gunfight. And his teams battled, had a chance to win against North Carolina, against Gonzaga in Nashville, no chance. Just beat down. So what do you mean afraid? Tennessee has played Kansas. Tennessee has played tough opponents, non-conference. It's part of Rick Barnes' formula to getting to the tournament, something that he's done most of his career. So the scared narrative, let's stop with that. Let's be grown-ups. He's not scared. He's scared. He's scared. He's scared to play Memphis. No. We play Kentucky once or twice a year. Kentucky's a better
twice a year.
Yeah.
They are a permanent rival, and we play them twice a year. At Lexington, too.
I remember one year we only played them once.
I think that was before the new scheduling set in.
So we play Kentucky, who's better than Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Recently we played Auburn a couple times, who better than Memphis.
I mean, just this year alone, Tennessee will play Florida State in the Emerald Coast Classic next Friday down in Florida. Florida State was the team that beat Florida, who was number 6 at the time, I believe. Florida had all this hype, all this potential, and Florida State, I believe that game was in Gainesville, but went to Gainesville and just beat down Florida. Beat them down. Tennessee just played a top 25 team in Washington and dominated them. So Washington, Florida State, I believe if Tennessee wins, they played, I'm forgetting it off the top of my head, but I know VCU is involved if they were to beat Florida State next Friday. But that's a pretty nifty tournament. And then they play Wisconsin at home. I believe that is December 28th. They play Memphis at home December 14th. Then 4 days after playing Memphis at home, I believe from Saturday to Wednesday, I believe it is, they go to Cincinnati.
Yeah,
who is the best team in the American Conference. Cincinnati is actually better than Memphis, but Memphis is getting all the talk because it's Memphis. They had the number 1 recruiting class. And you know who else Tennessee goes and plays this year? Kansas, at Kansas.
They can beat Kansas.
They can beat Kansas, but
I watched Kansas ETSU last night. They can beat Kansas.
ETSU could have won. Yeah. But Kansas, that's still a big-time road game. And when you schedule Kansas, you expect for them to be a top 5, top 10 type team. And that's not even the SEC games that you were mentioning.
Yeah. Since we're keeping it real, let me continue to do that. A couple years ago, and it was, I shouldn't say a couple because a couple would imply that it's like 2 or 3. It was longer than that. It was probably more like 7 or 8. Somewhere around there. So my wife's friend got married in Memphis. And so we made the trip to Memphis. So I've been to 3 weddings in Memphis in the last probably 10 years. One of those trips to Memphis was for my wife's friend, and she got married. Well, Penny Hardaway is a really, really, really close friend of the family. So I'm at the wedding. Honestly, I'm bored out of my mind. I don't really know anybody. And I'm like, man, I'm sure ready to go home, man. Nice wedding. All right, it's time to go. And during the reception, like I look over in the corner, and it's freaking Penny Hardaway. Now, I didn't fanboy because I just don't do that. I think everyone is just, they're human. So I didn't fan out, but I was like, wow, man, that's Penny Hardaway. And so immediately I thought about growing up is like a basketball junkie, and Michael Jordan being my favorite player of all time. And I remember when Michael Jordan came back from retirement and played against Orlando Magic with Penny, Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott, Shaq was on the Orlando team. And I remember like the Magic had beat the Bulls. And I was like, wait a minute, man. I didn't like anybody that beat my Bulls. I didn't like the Utah Jazz. I didn't like John Stockton and Karl Malone and Brian Russell and Greg Ostertag. I didn't like anybody that challenged the Bulls. But something was different about Penny. It's like, man, I like this dude, Penny. I became a Penny fan. I still am a Penny fan.
The basketball player.
I'm a Penny fan, basketball player. Absolutely. Still a fan. Man, I got the all black pennies. I got the white pennies with white and blue pennies. I'm not sure the model or the name of the shoe, but I used to rock Penny Hardaways. Big fan of Penny. When Memphis was struggling with Tubby Smith and we started hearing talk about Penny Hardaway potentially getting that job, I was the first one who was like, yeah, man, that would be awesome. Let's do it. Yeah, man, that'd be great. Because I'm thinking about Memphis. I'm thinking about the city of Memphis. Their son, the son of Memphis, coming back to save the program. I thought that was really, really cool. And I thought he would have a profound effect on those young men, those players. And I believe he's doing that. That's something that I'm not going to question at all. With his credibility, with him being from Memphis, I'm sure he can relate to those players in ways that Tubby Smith and Josh Pastner couldn't. So I was happy that Memphis got Penny. I'm happy Memphis got Penny right now. So I don't dislike Penny. I like Penny, to be honest. I think it's cool that Vanderbilt has Jerry Stackhouse. I think that's really awesome. As I continue to keep it real here, why are we acting like Rick Barnes shouldn't cut this rivalry off? There is a code in the coaching circles. If you have a problem with a coach, you call him on the phone. Publicly criticizing another coach for something that didn't happen, that's a no-no. Last year's game, well, there's a little bit of a altercation at the end of the game. Wasn't truly physical, but Memphis was getting frustrated. Obviously, the game was physical. But Penny, don't know if you have the quotes there. I have it here too. But Penny is insinuating. No, he insinuating. He flat out says that Tennessee players had their fists balled up, and Tennessee was heading towards Memphis sideline.
Yeah.
You can watch the game. That did not happen.
Yeah, and you can go back and watch the game right now and see that that did not happen. In fact, I believe it was Alex Lomax, who is a Memphis guard. In fact, Alex Lomax charged Tennessee's players and tried to run up on, I believe it was Jordan Bone.
Jordan Bone. Yep, Alex Lomax and Jordan Bone.
And so Penny had his claim after the game that Tennessee players ran over to the bench with balled fists as if they were ready to fight. Barnes disputed that claim, and then Barnes did go, I believe it was Tuesday, went on his radio show, and when asked about Memphis's attempts to draw fouls, alluded to the fact that they were flopping. And Penny Hardaway did not like that accusation of flopping and said during his next media availability that I don't have to use coach speak when a coach disrespects my team. I'm going to stay respectful as long as I have to, but Rick Barnes is doing a little bit too much. He really is. Rick Barnes, get the blank out of here.
So immediately after the game last year, Penny made the comments about the fist being balled up. So a couple days go by, and Rick Barnes makes a joke about the flopping. Now, let's continue to keep it real. Memphis players did flop.
Yep.
But you know who we had on our team last year? Probably one of the biggest floppers in the SEC, and that's Grant Williams. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real.
No, you're right.
Williams flopped a lot last year. He did. Okay? He flopped. If you're Penny, you can't call another coach classless publicly and expect for this rivalry to continue, because Tennessee does not need Memphis. They don't need Memphis. They don't need to play Memphis. Memphis football is awesome right now. Tennessee football has not been awesome. Both teams are ranked at Memphis. That's good for Memphis. But Memphis is still inferior to Tennessee. It is what it is. In basketball, we needed to play Memphis to try to get into Memphis and recruit the Jarnell Stokes and the Scooter McFaddens and those guys. Tennessee doesn't need to do that anymore because they can go anywhere in the country and attract 5-star, 4-star talent. And Memphis can do the same thing. Geno UConn's head coach, back when Pat Summitt was on the sidelines for Tennessee and they were recruiting Maya Moore, privately made some comments about Pat Summitt and the Tennessee basketball program and negatively recruiting Maya Moore. And word got back to Tennessee. And it was a move that Gino decided to take that was out of bounds. And Tennessee was like, we don't need this rivalry. So they cut the rivalry. Memphis is not the only show in town. There's other blue blood programs like Kansas, like North Carolina, like Kentucky that Tennessee can play. So let's not make it seem like that Rick Barnes is selfish. And I saw that, and I like Blake Morgan. When he lived here in Knoxville, he did radio on the same station I was on, did a show after mine, and always had positive interactions with Blake Morgan. But, like I said at the beginning of the show, sometimes when you're covering your team and you live in that city, man, you can sure lean that way a lot. And Blake Morgan did that with his tweet yesterday. He says, it's pretty sad Rick Barnes is going to selfishly rob both fan bases and the state of a game that means so much. I don't feel robbed. I'm good. I'm all right because I understand why Rick Barnes did it, and I'm glad he did it.
Yeah.
You're not going to talk crazy about me and my program and question my character. I just gave a sermon on Sunday. Who are you talking to? You're not going to question my character. I'm speaking like I'm Rick Barnes. Rick Barnes has been coaching. How long he's been coaching? He's 65 years old.
I know this is his 5th year at Tennessee.
He's been coaching since 1977 as an assistant coach. That's where he started. He's been a head coach since 1987. You know what I was doing in 1987? I was still peeing in the bed in 1987 at night. I was 3 years old. Don't judge me. Late bloomer. Rick Barnes has never got in trouble with the NCAA. He's never had a scandal. And you're going to sit here and question his integrity and his character? You can't do that. You can't do that at all. If I'm Rick Barnes, I would have cut it too. You're not going to talk reckless about me and my program with lies. If you tell the truth, that's one thing. You tell the truth on me, that's cool. That's fine. But a blatant lie? I'm not going to do that and us continue to play when we don't really need you. We don't need you. Texas A&M, Texas, that's a rivalry that used to be very strong. It's not in existence anymore in football because A&M went to the SEC. But that's a rivalry where one school still needs the other. It used to be Texas A&M need to play Texas and beat Texas to be able to get recruits because Texas was the big brother. Texas is a Longhorn state. Literally, it is. But when you look at the Texas A&M Texas rivalry, who wants to play who the most right now?
Texas wants to play A&M.
Why?
They need that out-of-conference game.
They need the game more than A&M because
And A&M is growing a ton or gaining a ton of ground on Texas in that state. Over the summer, if you remember, I kind of listed out how many of the top recruits in the state of Texas that A&M had gotten prior to joining the SEC compared to Texas, and Texas just absolutely blew A&M out of the water in that stat. But since A&M has joined the SEC in 2012, Texas and A&M are neck and neck for the top elite recruits in the state of Texas that they brought in.
Because A&M is getting the younger fans, the younger generation, which is one thing that Tennessee better be careful of. losing the young fans, losing a generation of Tennessee fans. But A&M is gaining those fans. Remember when Johnny Manziel was there? Heisman Trophy winner, and he was going around putting up the money sign after making big plays. You're losing fans in that state. So, of course, if you're Texas, you want to play and beat them so you can kind of take some of that, I guess, that fan real estate back. Come on, y'all. Let's keep it real here. Because you live in Knoxville, we got to play towards Tennessee. Just because you live in Memphis and you come to Memphis doesn't mean you always have to play Memphis. Y'all know Penny was wrong.
Yes.
Y'all know Penny was out of line. Come on, man.
Technically, it is Rick Barnes' fault that the series is not continuing because Rick Barnes is the one making the decision not to continue it. But let's also take a step back and realize why he is deciding not to continue the rivalry. And in my opinion, like you were saying, it is a valid reason.
If I do something out of pocket, if I do something or say something out of line, don't look at my playing career and say, oh, well, he's a good player. We're going to let what you said slide. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Right. It doesn't matter if I was a good player or a bad player. Wrong is wrong and right is right. Penny Hardaway was an awesome, unbelievable player. Let's not look at his playing career and give him a pass for what he did last year with his comments. It was wrong, period. It was wrong. You know LeBron James is a basketball player. But the comments he made in the beginning of the season about China, it was wrong. It was wrong. It was wrong. 865-255-03, Beat Dry Water Proof Hotline. Be right back.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
For a limited time only, Hiller is offering 0% interest financing for up to 48 months on qualifying high-efficiency HVAC systems. With no down payment required, expert installations, and convenient monthly payments, now is the perfect time to schedule. Visit happyhiller.com today.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com. We all know that Vol Nation is all over the country. Traveling to games is a fun time for the entire family, but deciding where to stay can be a bit stressful. That's where the Big Orange Faithful at the Hampton Inn downtown come in. General Manager Stephen Lawrence and his team go over and beyond to make sure that you have the best stay in their brand new rooms. They have the cleanest rooms in the game, which include flat screen, microwave, and fridge. Not to mention breakfast is included in the room rate. Oh yeah, I almost forgot the best part. The Hampton Inn downtown is less than a mile from Neyland Stadium. While you're planning your game day trips, be sure to check out Hampton Inn online at hamptoninn.com and search Knoxville. Book Hampton Inn downtown today. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event. Around the SEC, powered by 42nd Street Marketing, your game-winning play call for design, marketing, and branding.
We have several news and notes today. We will start off with the lighter notes. Matt Zenitz of AL.com reported that Florida third-string quarterback Nick Sproles has put his name into the NCAA transfer portal, according to a source. So, not big news. Apparently, he's actually a walk-on, but he is still Florida's third-string quarterback, and he has entered his name into the NCAA transfer portal. Ole Miss added a 2024 home game with Georgia Southern. I know you are thrilled to anticipate that football game coming up in 5 years. And then moving on to West End, where Vanderbilt somewhat stole the show on Tuesday throughout the SEC. First, they announced that they will be scheduling a home-and-home, somewhat of a home-and-home, in 2024 and 2025 with Virginia Tech. Vanderbilt and Virginia Tech will open the 2024 season in Nashville's Nissan Stadium, where the Titans play on August 31st. And then the following year, in 2025, Vanderbilt will travel to Blacksburg, Virginia, where they will play at Virginia Tech in Lane Stadium. So that's somewhat of a cool home-and-home that Vanderbilt and Virginia Tech has set up. But the reason Vanderbilt stole the thunder on Tuesday is because Malcolm Turner, Vanderbilt's new athletic director, came out and gave Derek Mason the dreaded vote of confidence and announced that Derek Mason will be back for the 2020 season. Malcolm Turner tweeted out saying, "I want to make it very clear that Derek Mason will be our head football coach moving forward. Coach Mason has my full support, and I am committed to working with him to ensure our football program has the necessary resources and support to succeed. We are in the midst of developing a new and robust athletic strategic plan with the vision to put the football program and all of our varsity sports in a position to win on and off the field of play. Coach Mason is committed to leading Vanderbilt's football program the right way, and we will move forward in that spirit together." So, Derek Mason, who I think is actually a pretty good football coach. He's just in a terrible situation at Vanderbilt. Will be back next season.
That's awkward. That's really weird because Vanderbilt looked lifeless at times, and at times, including the Missouri game, looked like they actually cared about winning a little bit. Derek Mason's comments about it's really true. It's the reality of the situation of where Vanderbilt is as a football program. And you can look at Mississippi State; they have the same issues. Ole Miss have the same issues. Kentucky, they have the same issues as well. Your success is going to go in cycles. You're going to have to recruit and develop that class, and then when they're juniors or seniors, you'll have a chance to maybe win more games than you normally win on a yearly basis. It goes in cycles. Whereas other programs that recruit at a high level each and every year, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different for them. And so I just thought that was his way of saying, yeah, man, I'm doing the best I can. If it ain't good enough, just go ahead and let me go, I guess. That's what it feels like that he's saying. But I feel bad for Derek Mason, to be honest.
I do too.
Because he's putting everything into try to give his team a chance to win on Saturdays. And he has to put in more effort than any other coach because he just doesn't have the talent. He doesn't have the support. And that's the thing that makes sense about Malcolm Turner's decision is Malcolm Turner knows that Derek Mason has not received the support he needs. He understands that James Franklin did not receive the amount of support that he deserved for what he was able to do at Vanderbilt, beating Tennessee and getting to a bowl game. And I think they beat Georgia one year. I mean, the current head coach of Vanderbilt and the previous head coach of Vanderbilt deserve more support. More people at the stadium. You know, we make fun of Vanderbilt's home stadium all the time about being a high school stadium and all that. But at the end of the day, I still feel bad for the players because the players are putting in the same work as Tennessee's players. The Vanderbilt players are putting in the same work as LSU's players. You have off-season training. You put in extra reps. You watch film. So why can't Vanderbilt players experience some of the same luxuries as other SEC players? I'm not expecting Vanderbilt players to have a locker room like LSU, but you can't fill up 30,000 people at the stadium. So the AD understands that the AD position needs to be better in supporting their head coach. But what's weird about this, though, is that you fired Bryce Drew, barely talking to him.
I think
He's a good coach.
the big difference there, and because Derek Mason and Bryce Drew are having very similar seasons. Vanderbilt has one SEC win, so I guess technically he's already done better than Bryce Drew because Bryce Drew did not win a single SEC game. But the difference there is that the players did not like Bryce Drew, and the players love Derek Mason.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
So, I mean, and I know that for a fact that the players did not think Bryce Drew was genuine, did not relate well to him, thought that he was just over the top with a lot of things. I know that for a fact. And then obviously my buddy Kari has just spoken glowingly about his time with Derek Mason and just who he is on the football field and then off the football field, really trying to help him grow as a man. And obviously I've seen Vanderbilt players, even on social media, just simply as a Tennessee fan, somebody that covers Tennessee, I can see from afar Vanderbilt's players always speaking highly of Derek Mason. You never got that with Bryce Drew. So I think that would be the biggest difference just from the outside looking in.
That makes sense. That makes all the sense in the world. I asked a question because I'm not there on the inside. I don't know. But I like Derek Mason. I like his swag, to be honest. I like James Franklin. When James Franklin was going up against Derek Dooley, I wish we can switch coaches, to be honest. There was times I was like, man, I wish we had that dude instead of the guy we have.
Especially after that 2012 game in which Jordan freaking Rodgers carved up Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, I like Derek Mason, and I thought he was going to leave there after, I forgot what year it was. I think it was his most successful season at Vanderbilt, and that Cal job was open.
It was after the 2017 season, I believe, 16 or 17.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But he's back. South Carolina, I don't know if you mentioned South Carolina and around the SEC, but we definitely deserve to talk about South Carolina. We may have to do that with Chris Lowe here at 8:15 because you got school president commenting, you got AD commenting on Will Muschamp's future, fan bases up in arms. They're going to be 4-8 this year. They're not going to beat Clemson.
You don't say.
They're going to get embarrassed by Clemson. Because I remember when, you had Deebo Samuel, you had Jake Bentley, and at least those guys fought. Jake Bentley won SEC Player of the Week last year because of his performance against Clemson, and they lost. So that tells you a lot about how the South Carolina team still played their butts off. Do you want to get yourself fired? Have your team quit on you and have your team get beat down to a rival. That will get you fired quicker than anything. Ask Derek Dooley. That was his fate sealed in 2012 when we just got beat down by Vanderbilt. Like, I mean, come on, man. Let's go ahead and get this over with. Let's get rid of them. Our players are quitting. It's terrible. It's terrible. So Will Muschamp may be in trouble. I did not think that Will Muschamp would be more in trouble than Derek Mason at this point of the season, but here we are. Here we are. He is in more trouble. More of an investment has been put into the South Carolina football program than at Vanderbilt. And maybe that's why. Maybe that's why.
And then real quick, I did want to – we brought up Penny, Tennessee last segment because Penny had additional comments yesterday. So real quick before we hit the top of the hour and have a couple of guests on, I did want to mention those comments as part of Around the SEC. Penny was asked about the series and said that I think it would be good for the state for sure. Obviously, last year what happened kind of put a spoiler on it for a minute, but I'm way past that right now because I think the state is so competitive that I think it should carry on.
Too late now, Penny. Too late. I agree with your comments, Penny. Like, I would like to see the rivalry continue, the game continue. But you've done too much damage. You've done too much damage. 865-255-03, hour 2 coming up.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
It's going to be partly sunny today with a high of 57 and a low of 38. More sunshine tomorrow with a high near 64 and a low around 49 with a 30% chance of rain overnight. Showers likely on Friday with a high near 60. Weather on the Swain Event is brought to you by Be Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, Be Dry can help. BeDry.com.
Touchdown or turnover is up next on the Swain Event.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. The next thing you know, you're being arrested for DUI. Be responsible, but remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call DUI and criminal defense attorney Marcos Garza. Put this number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty, say Garza. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to OFOKnox.com. That's OFOKnox.com.
You know what? The holiday season reminds me of SEC football. You need touchdowns over turnovers. So let me tell you about my friends who are ready to help. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union is ready to help you make this holiday season special for you and your family. They offer a special holiday loan at a very low interest rate and affordable payment to help you make those purchases for your family this holiday season. Oh, I get it. You're going all out this year. You're going to get that car, that boat, motorcycle, or camper for that special someone in your life. Alcoa 10 has the lowest interest rates around. They have money ready to lend you to help you make this holiday season one you would never forget. The process is fast, easy, and painless, and the decisions are made local, so you gotta give the loan experts at Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union a call, 865-977-3118, or check them out and apply online, atfcu.com. Better rates, better service, Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. ATFCU is an equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
And you know this, man.
SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Live here in the Low T Center studio. It is Wednesday, the best day of the week, of course. 2 minutes past the top of the hour, November the 20th. And we go to the B Dry Waterproofing Hotline this morning to talk to Mrs. Beth Sack Rogers of In Touch Massage Knoxville. Her website is intouchmassagenknoxville.com. Miss Beth, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm wonderful. You spent some time in North Carolina, so maybe you have some ties to Rick Barnes. Rick Barnes is a fellow North Carolinian. Is that how you say it? Did I say that wrong?
North Carolinian. He's from Hickory, where I lived for 20 years. He went to Orion University, and my kids studied music there. So, yeah, I do have ties to Mr. Barnes. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, Rick is loved here. He's loved here, and
he is. He's amazing.
Doesn't hurt that he's winning some football games too.
Yeah,
I mean, some basketball games.
Way happier.
Beth, I remember being in school here at Tennessee, and around my junior season, I guess they start providing the services when you make some plays or whatever. But I remember being here in my junior year, and I was introduced to massage therapy. And I thought all you need to get is ice and stem and, some Advil, some Tylenol, and go on about your day. But I would get massage therapy once or twice a week my junior year. And then my senior year, I would get it like 3 or 4 times a week. And it just made the difference in how my muscles recovered. It made the difference with stress. It just made the biggest difference in my play. And I know if I felt that way as a player, there's people every single day that have stress, that have, aches and pains, that have maybe diseases and things that they're going through, where massage therapy helps with that. How does...
I agree completely. I think a lot of people still think of massage as either a luxury item that only, the super affluent can afford, or that athletes are using while they're training. But massage, the benefits of massage go way beyond that. It improves your quality of sleep. It improves your quality of circulation. It helps your muscles recover faster, just from little injuries that the weekend marathoners or people who do Zumba class, have those little micro problems, and it can help muscles recover faster. It helps with soreness and achiness. I like to tell people I was a fan before I became a therapist. So, so I love massage, giving and receiving.
How long have you been practicing massage, and kind of what got you into it?
Well, honestly, massage is a third career for me.
Okay.
I worked a corporate desk job for a while, and I raised my children for a while, and so I came to massage in my 40s. I've been practicing for 12 years now, and I've been an instructor for 9 of those years. So I'm well versed in massage. I'm well versed in massage research, and it's a lot of my clients now come to me for clinical work. So I've got a lot of people that are recovering from things, post-mastectomies. I work with a lot of prenatal clients. I work with a lot of people that are recovering from joint replacement surgeries, neurological issues, as well as just the everyday, person going about their day.
What makes In Touch Massage Knoxville different? And before you answer that, we're talking to Mrs. Beth Sack Rogers, owner of In Touch Massage Knoxville. But Beth, what makes In Touch Massage different than some of the cookie cutter massage places? And I've been to those places where they get you in, you pay your money, they get you out as fast as possible because they have another client right behind you. What makes In Touch Massage different?
Well, I mean, number one, we have a real thorough intake with people who come in for relaxation massage are sometimes surprised that I have a long intake form. We really do ask about what's going on with your body, and we tailor our massage, even our relaxation massage, to your needs. Some people sit at a desk all day. They've got more neck and shoulder stuff going on. Some people are runners. We've got a lot of hikers and climbers here in East Tennessee. So their needs are different than somebody who works at a computer all day long. So we really want to tailor our massages to our clients. We want to spend some time with you and figure out, what are your expectations and how can we meet them best.
Absolutely. So if someone is listening and massage therapy is something they want to pursue, how do they do that with In Touch Massage?
Well, they can book online. We've got an online booking service, so they can go to our website, which is intouchmassagenknoxville.com, or they can just give us a call, 865-236-1425, and we'll be glad to talk to them and sort of help them decide what type of massage they might want to receive. We do offer, beyond our basic relaxation, we offer some clinical services. We use heat and cold in some of our services, and we've got some other tricks up our sleeves that we like to use. We can even do a 30-minute guided stretching session for people that are maybe just starting a workout or kind of upping their game in their workout and need a little help with some different stretching. We can add a guided stretching service to a massage as well.
865-236-1425 is the telephone number, and you're located at 601 South Concord Street, Suite 100, right there at Kingston Pike.
Right. We're across from Tyson Park.
That's right. The historical Tyson Park, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Beth, thanks so much for your time and sharing with us what all you have to offer there at In Touch Massage. InTouchMassageKnoxville.com. Beth, thanks so much for your time.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. I'm telling you, man. I remember those days of needing 2 or 3 massages in a week to be able to play on Saturdays. And I mean, they would beat you down now. It was deep tissue massage, and you'll wake up sore, and they'll tell you better drink a bunch of water. So, InTouchMassageKnoxville.com.
Go see Beth Sack Rogers. She's local. She's worked with Tennessee teams for years. She's right there next to campus. Swain event. Be right back.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
Hey, it's Chris Lowe of ESPN. And listen, maybe Jason Swain didn't wear number 1 quite as well as the great Leonard Little did at Tennessee, but he is your go-to guy for all things Big Orange. Join us weekly on the Swain event, brought to you by Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine and trsportsmedicine.com.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy.
The holidays are right around the corner, which means holiday party season will be here before you know it. This year, how about a dead-end rendition on your holiday tradition? Get festive at your holiday party with a catered meal from Dead End Barbecue. Their holiday menu offers traditional dishes with a dead-end twist, like their smoked turkey breast and cornbread dressing. To find out more about how Dead End can help you with your holiday party, give them a call at 865-212-5655 or email catering at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The holiday party menu search is over.
While the players are gearing up for the gridiron, it's time for you to get geared up at Alumni Hall. Find the best selection of Nike, Nike Golf, Peter Millar, and all of those retro logos you love. And the 2 for $28 t-shirt deal? Game changer. And don't forget about the rest of your game day crew. There are plenty of options for the entire family and to upgrade that tailgate. Shop now at one of their 6 convenient locations in Tennessee or 24/7 at alumnihall.com. It's football time in Tennessee.
Hey there, Swain event listeners. It's football time in Tennessee. While you're cheering on the Vols, you might be thinking, I would love to buy a home with a great place to entertain for games. Or maybe you're thinking, I'm tired of hosting all of these people at my house and we don't need all this space anymore. Whatever your plans may be, when you are ready to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, call me, Jennifer Morris, at Keller Williams Realty, 865-694-5904, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com, and go Vols.
If you aren't following the Swain event on Twitter, then are you even on Twitter? Hit that follow button. It's the right thing to do.
SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Top barbecue restaurant in America. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. And we are joined by the one, the only, Christopher Lowe, ESPN. That's right, the worldwide leader in sports. And we get a chance to bring on Chris Lowe, who is the worldwide leader in the SEC. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Jason. Dan, it's good to be with you guys. Our weekly Wednesday visit. Of course, you guys have closed me out of the lunches over at Dead End now. I hear that you were over there the other day. I had the credit card out and ordered, 2 or 3 rounds of banana pudding, but I didn't get the call.
You was there?
I didn't get the call.
I
guess I'm off the list now.
I didn't get a call either from you.
Now I'll just be George and I'll be the two of us.
I didn't get a call from you. I didn't get the invite.
That's what happens, man, when you're Hollywood. But I get it.
Maybe you were too busy getting the scoop on Tua Tagovailoa over there in Alabama.
No scoops, man. I tell you what, man. Speaking of Tua, what arm breaking injury and the situation for that kid. I think it just. You know what it does for me, Swain, and everybody's different, but it really, to me, underscores that, first of all, football, and you played it, you know better than anybody, it's such a fleeting game. It can be such a fleeting game. And anybody who's ever played it knows that you can be on top of the world one day and then have some type of injury like that. And God willing, that kid will still go on and play a long time in the NFL. But it underscores why college, there is value in college and getting that degree. I mean, you're a great example of that. That if it doesn't work out, or if you do get hurt, and yet when you are worth millions of dollars because you're a great football player, it's not as simple as, well, you're just playing for the team or you're just playing, for the education or the scholarship. It's so much more complicated than everybody on both sides of that argument trying to make it. And you know that. But the thing that, it's funny, not funny, it's ironic, because the conversation I had with Nick the week before when I was there leading up to the LSU games, he talked a lot about that in regard to how he was sort of the exception in today's world. And he wasn't knocking. He gets it, that kids are going to look out. Kids that have $1 million future ahead of them are going to make out for the best interest, and they should. That's sort of the system the way it is now, and it's the game they've created, especially with everything geared toward the playoff. And I remember him telling me, he says, the thing with Tua, though, is he just doesn't think like that. He wasn't. A lot of it's his culture and the way he was raised, that he wants to be out there. The only thing he has talked about, and again, this was leading up to the LSU game when he had the ankle, he was trying to come back from that, was being out there with his teammates. Being out there on the practice field and competing again and getting a chance to lead us back to have the kind of successful season we want. He says, Nick told me, he said, I've never been around a more positive player in my life than Tua Tagovailoa. Everything about him is positive, and his vibes permeates the whole team. And that's, you see how Nick can be a bit of a droid, a little bit of a robot, but you saw how emotional he was the other day when he talked about it. And because you don't coach many players like that. You really don't. And I can tell you, having got to know Tua a little bit and covered him over the last couple of years, I mean, he's as authentic as they get, man. He loves playing. He loves his teammates. He loved, what the Alabama experience and fans meant to him, and he soaked it up. So it was we've seen him play his last game at Alabama. I'm quite certain. But boy, what a pleasure it was to cover that kid and get to know him and to see the way he competed. And I just hope and pray that going forward he gets to play a lot of football, the rest of the way. And I get completely why people point and say, see, that's the reason, you don't play if you're a little bit injured, or if you get late in the year and you're not completely healthy, you don't risk it. Well, you know what? I've always felt this way, and you're probably a better authority on this. If you play football fearing an injury or scared you might get hurt, the chances of you getting hurt are probably a little bit greater.
Yep, you can't play that way. You can't. And Tua wanted to play. He wanted to play. And right there at the 2-minute drill, you only get a few opportunities to really execute that drill versus someone else other than your own team in practice. So,
and Saban, I'm glad you said it. Saban, I got a little heat. Of course, he's going to get heat. Coaches that make that kind of cash, they should get heat. That's scrutiny. That's part of it, right? You make $8-9 million a year. That's you're going to get questioned and second guessed. They're going to be Monday-born quarterbacks. That's all part of it. But he got some heat in particular for saying we wanted to leave him in to do that 2-minute drill. And you know this. I mean, 2-minute drills are impossible to really simulate unless you do it in a game. And he hadn't really got a chance to run that for a while, and they were going to take him out after that. But if you go back and watch the game, I don't know how much of the game you watched that day.
Mm-hmm.
He was moving. I talked to one of the guys on the staff there, train staff, and he said that week in practice, he moved and looked better than he had in a long time. But he played in that game leading up to that point, the injury, and moved. I mean, you wouldn't even know he had an injury, the way he played, how fluid he looked. And but those drills are hard to, unless you're in a real game, real pass rushers, in that situation, the 2-minute drill, you just can't simulate it. Just an awful injury, awful for him, awful for Alabama, his family. But pretty cool to see how people have transcended. You've seen people transcend, the rivalry lines, and people sort of come to his support, and all the prayers have been out there for him. That to me, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It really is.
Yeah, and it looks like he's taking it in stride. I mean, he's not too down. I mean, good attitude, and I don't know if he's going to leave or stay, but it's time for him to go ahead and get ready for the NFL. If that's something.
Yeah, I guess a lot of it's his recovery too. How long it really is going to take him to get back to where he can play again. And I'm sure that he'll make that. He's got a strong family support system. His mom and dad are great. The medical staff at Alabama, from Dr. Andrews, who is the top guy for both Auburn and Alabama, and then their trainer Jeff Allen. You're talking about some of the best in the business. They absolutely are. I think that's the thing to remember here. If you want to criticize Nick for playing him at all, or leaving him in, or what have you, I don't think that's a fair criticism, because you've got the best medical people in the country who cleared him and said he looks great. He's gone through all of our tests. We've done all of our protocol. He's better than he's been. And I think here's the key: is Tua was advocating, and his family was advocating for him to play. He wanted to play. Had he come in there, his dad come in and say, "You know what? I just don't feel like I'm there. I need another week. I need 2 weeks." He never would have been out on the field. But none of that happened. And you got and again, I've heard this, well, Nick Saban should have stepped in and superseded all that and said, no, he's not going to play. So you pay these people the best in the world in their field, medical field, training field, to make these decisions, and you supersede them. It's the system's sort of screwed up, Swain. Because college football for a long time has been the minor leagues for the NFL. That's the way. Everybody talks about, well, the NCAA should do this, or college football coaches should do that. It's an NFL rule that you got to play 3 years before you go to the NFL. Let's get that out there front and center. Okay, that's the NFL that mandates that. Okay, if a kid like Tua Tagovailoa was talented, Jadeveon Clowney is another great example. I remember Ellis Johnson, who coached Jadeveon at South Carolina as his defensive coordinator. Ellis has coached a million different places and been in the game forever. He said Jadeveon was one of those rare kids that you saw as a senior in high school and knew that he was ready to go straight to the NFL. If those kids exist, and they do exist to some degree, not many of them, you know what? They ought to have the right to do that.
Should.
Chris, in regards to the playoffs, how do you feel now about Alabama's
playoffs?
How do you feel now about Alabama's chances following the loss of Tua? I almost think that it could be a blessing in disguise in regards to their playoff chances, in the sense of, sure, the Iron Bowl is a much more winnable game now for Auburn, but I almost think that the committee will give Alabama more brownie points if they're able to beat Auburn with Mac Jones at quarterback than with Tua.
Ben, great minds think alike, man. Even though I still can't get you to go switch from the Bernie Mac to the smoked bologna sandwich at dead end, but I still think great minds think alike. I thought the very thing, to some degree, is that really Alabama's their only route to get in the playoff now. Obviously, LSU's got to win out. Georgia can't upset LSU in the SEC championship game. But they've got to win out, meaning they beat Georgia, or Georgia loses. And I think the scenario that would best suit Bama, and I don't know that it's a slam dunk by any stretch, would be if it comes down to Bama and Oregon for that last spot. And Bama goes into Auburn with Mac Jones at quarterback and just really lights them up, scores a lot of points, and beats Auburn handily. Okay? Then if you're in the committee room and you're sitting there and you're weighing those two teams, their total resumes, I mean, the thing that Oregon would have going forward, it would have won a bunch of games in a row, and it would be the Pac-12 champion. But its only loss would have been to an Auburn team that beat you with a true freshman quarterback playing his very first game on a neutral site. Well, that same Oregon team, just 2 weeks before the end of the season, that same team, Oregon, the team that beat you, Auburn, was blasted on its home field by an Alabama team with its second-team quarterback that didn't miss any beat. I think that's the scenario, and I think you're right. I think that could weigh potentially in Alabama's favor. How much do conference championships really count? I think we're going to find that out. But that's certainly a conversation I guarantee you that will be had over and over again. I've talked to several people who've been on that committee over the years, and they say that those conversations can get pretty lively when they start trying to get down to that last team. But if it does indeed become Oregon or Alabama in that scenario, that's going to be pretty fascinating to see who wins out. I think the first three almost, you never say locked in, because I still think there'll be some game out there in the next few weeks that we don't see coming. But I think there's a better chance that Swain picks up the next tab at Dead End Barbecue than Clemson loses a game the next couple of weeks. Clemson's going to be in. And Clemson's playing better. They're playing their best football.
They are.
I wouldn't want to play Clemson right now. I don't care what their resume is, and I know what's the old saying, they ain't played anybody. But they're a good football team, and they're playing right now. They look like they're on a mission to me. I wouldn't want to play them. So I think they're in. Ohio State still has to beat Penn State, Michigan. So they got probably the toughest road. But they sure do look like a complete football team to me. And even if they lose to one of those teams, the Big Ten champion's going to get in. The SEC champion's going to get in, be it LSU or if Georgia beats. Now, again, if Georgia were to beat LSU, an unbeaten LSU team in the SEC championship game, then I think it's pretty cut and dry that both those teams go. They're not going to leave an LSU team out whose only loss is to Georgia, which would be at that point a top 4 Georgia team. And then with wins over Bama, what they got, 3 or 4 top 20 wins coming at LSU?
Yeah,
so you
they
have
got
LSU,
3 top 10
Georgia.
wins.
Yeah, you have LSU, Georgia, Clemson, and the Big Ten champ. So that scenario would 100% knock Alabama out.
Speaking of Clemson playing well right now, and you don't want to play them right now. Well, South Carolina has to play them right now, and you got the president, you got the AD speaking on Will Muschamp's future. Looks like the Gamecock fans want him out of there. I mean, what have you heard about that situation there in Columbus?
Well, that's a great example, Swain, of what we've seen happen at South Carolina. There's teaching moments. Sometimes you go, and I don't know if you ever had to be in these seminars where they do presentations on how to handle situations. Sure, they play it out, they act it out. Are you a Seinfeld fan at all? Are you remember where George did the opposite of everything he thought he should do?
I love Seinfeld.
It's almost as if that's what South Carolina's doing now. They're doing it exactly everything that they shouldn't do. Certainly the president. It's sort of a way not to handle these situations. You got Tanner coming out and saying he's my football coach. Tanner's the AD. He's going to be my football coach. And then the president sits down in an interview and says, well, Tanner reached out to Florida State to see how he managed that battle with Willie Taggart. And he comes back and say, well, no, I didn't say that. They twisted my words. And then goes on to say, now, if they implode against Clemson, maybe we'll have to reassess that. I mean, how bad? Can it get any worse? Can get any? I mean, you know who I think is in the biggest trouble right now? I think the AD Tanner might be in the biggest trouble.
Really?
Well, because if you're the money people or you're on the board at South Carolina, and you know you're going to owe this guy Muschamp what, $18 million?
Yep, 18.
And the AD's sort of the one that put that extension and gave him that extension. Was it last year? You're probably already mad about that. In fact, I know some money people at South Carolina are mad about that. And you have to blow him out of there next year. Talking about Muschamp. Do you want Tanner making that decision? A, and do you want him hiring a new head football coach? And I'm not saying this is what should happen, or I'm just telling you you asked me what I've heard. These are some of the things and some of the concerns and thoughts I've heard out of South Carolina. I mean, if Clemson really, embarrasses them, then it's just going to ratchet up. There's going to be a lot of pressure. Now, where they come up with that kind of money, how it goes down, but if that happens, it's going to be bad. That's a tough job, though. And I know Will's one of those guys people look at and say, well, he should never be head football coach again. He came into Florida, a great program, at a tough time when, Urban had not left it in great shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had one good year, and then after that, it just wasn't what it needed to be. South Carolina's a hard job. I grew up in that state. I understand the history of that program. Probably harder than now that they're in the SEC. It's harder than it's ever been. And the problem is you've got Spurrier, who came in there and took them to heights that they've never ever sniffed before, and beat up on Georgia, and beat up on Tennessee for the most part. Florida beat Clemson 5 straight years, which had never been done. And then, of course, he left regrettably, the kind of way a coach never wants to leave. And it wasn't, he had not recruited well. And so when Will got there, it wasn't like the cupboard was full at all. But that's been a while now. So you can't keep blaming what's going on right now, and you sort of hear that sometimes on what Spurrier left or didn't leave. It's sort of revisionist history. But that's a hard job. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. And to be honest with you, I don't know what their candidate list would look like. It's a lot like Tennessee in some ways. I mean, we all remember, and kudos to Jeremy Pruitt for doing what he's done and turning it around, but let's not forget, close to where we live, at the end of the day, even after Coach Fulmer took over, who were the 3 finalists for the Tennessee job? 3 coordinators.
Yep.
Okay, it wasn't like you had established head coaches across the country beating the door down to come. And I think it'd probably be much the same way at South Carolina.
Chris Lowe, ESPN here on the Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. And Chris Lowe's time is brought to you by Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. Chris, give us your take on the Memphis-Tennessee basketball rivalry. Rick Barnes, Penny. Rick Barnes is not going to renew this rivalry between Tennessee and Memphis after next year's final game of the 3-year series. And, Memphis fans, of course, they're going to go elementary route and say, Rick Barnes scared after scheduling Kansas and North Carolina and Gonzaga in his past here at Tennessee. Do you think Penny and Memphis have a legitimate argument that the series should continue, or do you feel like Rick Barnes is all justified in stopping that rivalry because of how Penny has acted publicly?
Well, first of all, am I the only one? He was a great player, had a great career, but am I the only one that when I look at Penny right now, I can't separate him from Butch McRae. Maybe I'm showing my age a little bit, going back to the old Blue Chips movie.
Yeah.
And Nick Nolte. Remember Nick Nolte punting the basketball?
Oh, yeah, man.
With the officials and punting the ball.
He was fired up.
The meeting with Butch McRae and his mom where she's sitting there telling him everything she wants. I mean, I just can't. It's hard for me to separate Penny Hardaway from Butch McRae. But anyway, I guess that's another story for another day.
It's funny you mentioned that, Chris, because look what he's dealing with now.
You said that, not me.
I mean, it's true.
What was Nick Nolte's final? Remember his final tirade in the movie? It's not about fun. It's not about basketball. It's not about winning. It's about bleep money.
That's true.
Well, first of all, I'm glad Penny is at Memphis because I think it makes Memphis basketball a lot better, a lot more fun, a lot more fascinating, a lot more entertaining. I think we'll see how he does as a coach, but I think that spices it up. And if Tennessee and Memphis do play, I think it makes that rivalry a lot more spicier. I'll say this about Rick. I know Rick Barnes well enough to know that he never does anything on a whim. He never just does something because of one thing. He thinks it through. He looks at the big picture. Nobody looks at the bigger picture more than Rick Barnes. And I'm talking about everything for the program, for his players, long term, spiritually, everything. He's as good as there is about that. Every decision he makes. I don't know that Tennessee needs Memphis. Not when you're able to I know some people say that, well, they owe it to the state to play. Well, it was a long time those teams didn't play. But if you were Tennessee and you were scheduling a ho-hum schedule, but hey, they got North Carolina. They're playing North Carolina and Wisconsin and Kansas, and Washington. I mean, they're playing a really good schedule and have played a really good schedule. Playing in tournaments that are enticing. I don't know, man. I don't know if they need Memphis or not. And I think if I'm Tennessee, I think you make that very known. Now, is that a reason in itself to say we're never going to play Memphis again? I don't know, but I certainly, if I'm looking at it from the Tennessee perspective, say, well, you know what, we already need you guys. We're already playing the Blue Bloods. Do playing you guys, does it do anything for us? No, probably not. Would it be cool for the fans of the two teams if these two teams played every year? I think it would be pretty fun. I like seeing that series. But I don't think, if you're looking at it from Tennessee's perspective, and yes, some of the things that Penny said last year probably don't help the situation. I mean, in an ideal world, I'd like to see him play as a fan because I think it's fun, it's entertaining, and maybe we could get, if they played, we could get Nick Nolte to come referee, or maybe they could play. We get a stage match between Rick and Penny Hardaway after the game, and Glenn Jacobs, aka Kane, and Nick Nolte could be the two guest referees.
It would be entertaining. The Memphis-Tennessee game has been entertaining every time they've played.
Yeah, it's been a fun game.
Yeah.
It's been a fun series. It's been a fun game. I mean, in a perfect world, I like to see him play just as a fan.
Me too.
But from Rick's perspective and Tennessee's perspective, I don't know that they really need Memphis because it's not like they're struggling to get good games.
They're not.
It's not like they're struggling for exposure.
They're not.
Chris, this weekend, Tennessee, Missouri. I like Tennessee's chances of winning and then winning out. Your thoughts on the game, and then will Barry Odom be back next year?
Tell you what, this is that year, Ben. Unlike last year, remember last year was the first year in how many years that every SEC, there wasn't an SEC coach that was canned in football.
Mm-hmm.
This may be the opposite of that, Especially if you look around some of the domino effect. I still think Mark Stoops has a chance. I'm not saying he's the front runner. He's definitely going to get it, but I think he's got a chance to be the FSU coach. Now, Malcolm Turner's come out at Vanderbilt and said Derek Mason's going to be back at Vandy, so it looks like that's going to happen. But boy, what if, again, this is why I'm making those statements with a couple games left. What if they drop that game to ETSU this weekend? I don't think that'll happen. But what if that happens? I know for a fact there's some money people at Vanderbilt that want him gone. I'm not sure it's fair when you look at, they haven't given Derek everything he needs.
Nope.
To compete at a high level. He's had enough to beat Tennessee's butt for the last 3 years. I know people that listen to your shows probably don't want to hear that, but it's a fact.
It's true.
But Ben Odom's a little bit of a different story because I think Barry's a really good coach who's done a good job there under the circumstances. But they've been a bad team this year, and it's almost like if you go back to that stretch, didn't they have three straight SEC road games they had?
I believe you are correct.
I don't know that they ever really recovered from that, or not that that's an excuse.
At Vanderbilt, at Kentucky, at Georgia.
Yeah, they've been awful on offense.
You can't count Vanderbilt as a road game.
Well, that's true, but it's still. Go back and look over the last decade. How many times has an SEC team played three straight SEC road games? It doesn't happen very often. And I see where where Coach where Coach Dooley is making his infamous analogies again. What do you say that they've basically been in football hell offensively?
Yep.
But he did make any Rommel reference. I didn't see any general Rommel reference. Did you?
This is the perfect time to use it. To be honest, this is the perfect time to use it.
No fake binoculars where he's looking down the beach. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen with Barry. It's not been a good year because they were a team, and I said on your show back in September that I thought they were a team at that point, at least a dark horse team, that if Georgia or Florida weren't going to win the East, that maybe Missouri had a chance. And it's just been a downhill slide since then. But I think for Tennessee's sake, they get a team in Missouri that you wonder what they're playing for. You wonder emotionally inside that locker room what that's like right now. I would imagine it's probably pretty fragile. This is an opportunity for Tennessee, Ben, to go on the road, handle their business, play with confidence. Really important in my mind that they get out early, strike fast, and not give Missouri, because I can't believe it's going to be a good environment, a good home environment for Missouri. Give them a reason to believe that they can win this football game. You know, the last thing Tennessee wants to do is get behind in this game, let them feel like, okay, we're going to take it out on somebody. And I think they're going to jump on them fast and play well early. And if they do that, I think they got a great chance to win the game.
What do you think will happen? Who do you think will win this game?
I think Tennessee will win. I think the way Tennessee's played and their improvement, and again, it's not so much a feel. I just think the way they've improved in the line of scrimmage, Swain, week to week, and the way guys like Trey Smith are playing, they've been able to create a little bit of depth. You've seen some veterans really become disruptors for you. Daryl Taylor, Patulli. I love when you have seniors that step up and make big plays. Garantano on offense. Everybody's wondering, well, is he going to start? Is he not going to start? Listen, it don't matter because he's going to play the line share the snaps.
Yep.
Okay? He's going to be the guy. But I just like the veteran leadership and the seniors, and I like the way. And I give a ton of credit to the guys on the staff, the offensive line, the defensive line, how much they've improved and what they've been able to get out of those units, and to keep them involved, keep them. Some of the guys that haven't done as much over the last few years, guys like Matthew Butler, for instance. We've seen him come on and play well. That to me has been the most promising thing about this football team, is to see their growth and their improvement in both lines of scrimmage and the way they've responded to their head football coach. That's the thing. Again, that's why it's so important Tennessee closes the season so well, because you sort of see the trajectory now of the program. And they need to finish it out, which they didn't do last year.
Got to do it, man. Got a chance to win 7 games, possibly win 8 in the bowl game. So, whew.
I tell you what, if they win their last 2, I've talked to several people. I'd be shocked if they're not playing in Jacksonville, somewhere in Florida, in a bowl game, because there's a real desire to get a Tennessee team that have won a bunch of games in a row at that point on momentum, with a lot of momentum, fans wanting to travel. Fans that have really fallen in love with this team in that scenario that they went out and sort of see the future. They're really seeing the future now. There'll be a ton of fans that would flock to Florida. And Tennessee would be, again, in that that scenario that we just painted, would be a hot commodity.
Chris, why are you beating around the bush here? You know what this is about. This is about money. Bowl games want our fans' money.
It's about what was Nick Nolte's was it Pete? What was his last name? What was the coach's name?
Oh man,
it was Pete something. God, it's gonna bother me. As soon as I get off the show, I'm gonna have to go Google it.
Pete. Hold on. Man.
You got to get Robin, Batman and Robin. See, Robin was always there to
Bell.
to help out Batman this time, and Robin needs to come through with that.
Pete Bell.
Pete Bell. There you go. You know what Pete Bell said about money.
That's what's about, man. Let's not sugarcoat it. Bowl games know that Tennessee fans will travel and travel well, and they want the money because we will.
Well, and plus, if
travel.
they go to Jacksonville or somewhere in Florida, the Gator Bowl, we could get you guys down there and do your show on remote all week. George there at Dead End's already promised that he'll sponsor the whole week. We'll take a makeshift Dead End barbecue restaurant down there for the Tennessee fans and for you. It'll be a limited menu. We'll have the Bernie Mac, we'll have the smoked bologna, we'll have the ribs.
Oh, we'll have y'all's favorite.
The burn-in.
Just send me a couple of trays of banana pudding, and I'll be good to go all week.
No, we'll definitely have some banana pudding.
We'll have y'all's
and,
favorite.
And the cream corn.
Yeah, y'all's favorite.
But you don't really have a favorite. You just like a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, I mix it.
You go different every time.
Listen, when it's Dead End, there's a whole bunch of things to like, though, right?
That's true. That's true, Christopher. That's true.
He called her Christopher.
Chris Lowe, ESPN, senior writer for ESPN.com. Chris, it's always fun to conversate with you, my friend.
Same here, guys. Sure, and I'll leave with this. Sure was fun to watch Tennessee play hoops last Saturday. It's a different kind of team. Their identity will be different, but boy, you can sort of see it's a guard, perimeter-oriented team, but there's already, and that's the great thing about Rick's teams, is, man, players develop and they get better. And you're already starting to see that with guys like East Pond. This will be a fun team to watch. If they can stay healthy, keep Fulkerson out of foul trouble, they got a chance to be really good and be a lot better, I think, than people thought they would be.
Oh, I agree 100% with you, Chris. All right, man. See you later. Thanks for your time.
See you guys. Take care.
See you. Chris Lowe, ESPN. His time is brought to you by Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. If you have any ligament pain, elbow, knee, ankle, shoulder, you have tendonitis, give my friends at Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine a call. You can see everything that they do by going to their website at trsportsmedicine.com. And they bring us Chris Lowe every Wednesday here on the Swain event. 865-255-03. Be right back.
For what is coming up on the Swain event.
It's going to be partly sunny today with a high of 57 and a low of 38. More sunshine tomorrow with a high near 64 and a low around 49 with a 30% chance of rain overnight. Showers likely on Friday with a high near 60. Weather on the Swain event is brought to you by Be Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, Be Dry can help. BeDry.com. Be Dry is celebrating 60 years of protecting homes across the U.S. They are the basement and crawl space experts. There has been historic rainfall in East Tennessee recently. If you are experiencing wet foundation walls, puddles on your floor, or water where your floor and wall meet, then you should call Be Dry. They have over 500,000 customers nationwide. Be Dry gives free estimates for all homeowners. Financing is available, and if you mention the Swain event, Be Dry will give you $500 off a full perimeter basement waterproofing solution. Wet basement? Better call Be Dry, 865-588-0454 or online at BeDry.com.
We all know that Vol Nation is all over the country. Traveling to games is a fun time for the entire family, but deciding where to stay can be a bit stressful. That's where the Big Orange Faithful at the Hampton Inn downtown come in. General Manager Stephen Lawrence and his team go over and beyond to make sure that you have the best stay in their brand new rooms. They have the cleanest rooms in the game, which include flat screen, microwave, and fridge. Not to mention breakfast is included in the room rate.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot the best part. The Hampton Inn downtown is less than a mile from Neyland Stadium. While you're planning your game day trips, be sure to check out Hampton Inn online at hamptoninn.com and search Knoxville. Book Hampton Inn downtown today.
Hey, Mr. Mack, you heard the lowdown? Nah, homie. Give me the word on what's going on. Tell him what it is, Big Will.
Mac, now the lowdown is no money down, only at the new Open Franklin Motors in Alcoa. No money down at the new Open Franklin Motors in Alcoa. Not $1,000 down, not $100 down, not even a nickel down. Low down, no down, only at the new Open Franklin Motors in Alcoa. 2 minutes from the airport, so fly on down to the new Open Franklin Motors next to Walmart, home of the original low down, no down payment. That is, why would you buy from anywhere else when you know we gonna get you done? Good credit, bad credit, slow credit, we will get you approved. So come on down to 911 Louisville Road, the new Open Franklin Motors next to Walmart, or call 865-980-8216. Turn down for what?
There are articles and news stories that you read about the things that people do. And when you're reading those and you start to shake your head, you start to scratch your head a little bit, you get confused, you don't understand why, you start to ask questions. But really, there's only one question that matters. What is that question, you may ask?
For what?
All right, it's time for what here on the Swain event, where we highlight questionable decision making. Ben, what you got for what today?
Today's for what is going to be around the SEC part 2, because there were some very questionable scores last night in men's basketball. Most notably, South Carolina losing a bye game to Boston University, 78-70.
You call it a bye game?
Yes, because South Carolina paid Boston University to come down to Columbia, South Carolina, and they lost. So, yes, last night's game, or the basis of this for what, is the South Carolina loss last night. But SEC basketball in general gets a for what right now. You've had LSU lose to VCU. You've had Kentucky lose to Evansville. Kentucky almost lost to Utah Valley on Monday night. You've had Auburn beat Georgia Southern by a single point. You had South Alabama by a single point. You had so Auburn lost to South Alabama by a single point. They also struggled with Georgia Southern. You had Vanderbilt lose to the name of the school is slipping off the top of my head. Richmond, that's who it was. Vanderbilt lost to Richmond in overtime. You just had a bunch of terrible performances by SEC basketball teams to start the year. You had Alabama lose to Pitt in their season opener. It has been a rough start for SEC basketball. But don't look now. Tennessee basketball is playing the best basketball out of any SEC team to start the season. And it is a very, very small sample size. There was even a bad half of basketball for Tennessee mixed in there. The first half against Murray State wasn't a great product. But outside of that first half, Tennessee's playing the best basketball out of any SEC team right now. Florida has had a miserable start to its season, 2-2 on the year. A loss to Florida State, a loss to Connecticut on the road, and Connecticut was projected to be a bad basketball team this season. So, SEC basketball outside of Tennessee gets us what to start the season.
I like it. No, I like it, man. Let's check out the text box this morning. But first, we'll get to the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. And let's get to who we got?
Dave Tona.
Dave Tona, good morning.
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Chris Lowe kind of got me a little excited.
How so?
Talking about the owner of that barbecue place sponsoring a trip down here to Jacksonville if we end up in Jacksonville.
Well, you can't believe Chris, man. You can't believe him. He likes to joke around a lot.
Well, hey, if that happens, send me a seat between the two of y'all.
Let's do it, man. I haven't been to a bowl game after my playing days, so it would be a first for me.
And I know you, Swain. You're gonna give me some of that barbecue and say, "Look, Dave, I brought this all the way down for you."
You gotta come to Knoxville to get the barbecue, man. I don't know what Chris is talking about. Gotta come to Knoxville. We want you to give it to you fresh out of the kitchen.
All right. So Derek Mason, the first thing he said this morning when he woke up was, guess what he said?
Thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
Remember Ron Simmons, the old Florida State linebacker, went to WWE?
Mm-hmm.
His one-word phrase was, damn. Derek Mason thought he said enough to get himself fired.
He was trying to get fired, huh? He want that buyout money.
That's right.
That's what he wanted. It won't be as much as Will Muschamp if Will Muschamp gets let go or Butch Jones, but hey, it's still money to not do anything. So,
Will Muschamp's money before December 30th is $19.8 million. After the 30th of December, it goes down to like 18.4.
yeah, the buyout money is ridiculous for South Carolina, and as a Tennessee fan, you kind of sit back and look at other teams bobble their football coach's destiny in the football program. Because listen, we've been there too, so we know how it looks from up close. So we're looking at South Carolina, and we understand. We understand. Going to the text box this morning, South Kakalaki Vol says, I think you guys are caught up with what Bama's done in previous years. I don't think Alabama should go to the college football playoff. I've said it for weeks.
Yeah.
I've said it for weeks that if LSU beats Alabama with that weak schedule, that they don't deserve to go to the college football playoff. I said for weeks, I'll say it now. So I don't care what Alabama's done last year or the year before. This year's team does not deserve to go to the college football playoff.
No.
And I don't want to see him, especially without Tua.
What if Alabama beats down a good Auburn defense with Mac Jones at quarterback and chaos happens elsewhere? Because, or not Tennessee, but Alabama needs both to happen. They need to really beat down Alabama with Mac Jones at quarterback. The defense needs to impress to a certain extent, and then on top of that, they need some help elsewhere. What if that all happens?
There's going to be a Pac-12
representative.
There's going to be a Big Ten representative, and then there's going to be Clemson.
Yes, and an SEC representative.
Yes.
LSU or Georgia.
Yeah. So, no, I don't care what Alabama does. They don't deserve to go.
You may feel a little bit differently with me on this, but I do think Georgia and LSU are better football teams.
No, I do too. I mean, without Tua, they're not the same football team. They're not. So if you want to talk about the four best teams in college football, without Tua, they are not one of the best four teams in college football. They're just not. Tua is a different story. Hour 3 is coming up around the corner. Hour 2 is brought to you by Alumni Hall, alumnihall.com. Stay with us.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
While the players are gearing up for the gridiron, it's time for you to get geared up at Alumni Hall. Find the best selection of Nike, Nike Golf, Peter Millar, and all of those retro logos you love. And the 2 for $28 t-shirt deal? Game changer. And don't forget about the rest of your game day crew. There are plenty of options for the entire family and to upgrade that tailgate. Shop now at one of their 6 convenient locations in Tennessee or 24/7 at alumnihall.com. It's football time in Tennessee.
You know what? The holiday season reminds me of SEC football. You need touchdowns over turnovers. So let me tell you about my friends who are ready to help. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union is ready to help you make this holiday season special for you and your family. They offer a special holiday loan at a very low interest rate and affordable payment to help you make those purchases for your family this holiday season. Oh, I get it. You're going all out this year. You're going to get that car, that boat, motorcycle, or camper for that special someone in your life. Alcoa 10 has the lowest interest rates around. They have money ready to lend you to help you make this holiday season one you would never forget. The process is fast, easy, and painless, and the decisions are made local, so you gotta give the loan experts at Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union a call, 865-977-3118, or check them out and apply online, atfcu.com. Better rates, better service, Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. ATFCU is an equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Swain event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com. Don't want to see Alabama. C. Tom Nathan says, could Muschamp be going to Arkansas? No. How would Muschamp be going to Arkansas be? I mean, it would be the same as it is South Carolina, but even worse because competition is even tougher in the West. I don't see Will Muschamp getting another chance in the SEC if he is let go at South Carolina. I mean, I look at, and maybe someone falls on the sword there at South Carolina for Will Muschamp to survive, but I hate that because Will Muschamp, I don't think he's a bad head coach.
No.
I just think he's in a tough situation in South Carolina. They got the toughest schedule in the country. At Florida, obviously, offensive was a problem. He could not nail down the offense coordinator and let him do his job without micromanaging. And he's learned his lesson at South Carolina, but he has trusted his football team with a coordinator that was promoted just to keep him from leaving and going to another school. And Brian McClendon, remember, Jeremy Pruitt wanted Brian McClendon to be a part of this staff because of his recruiting abilities.
Boy, am I glad that did not work out. I think Brian McClendon is a great offensive mind, but obviously Jim Chaney is a much better option.
As far as bringing Brian McClendon on to be an assistant coach, dude, that would be awesome.
Yes.
But not as a coordinator.
No. But that is something you and I both talked about that, we would maybe like that happening when Jeremy Pruitt was going through that coaching search last offseason. That is an idea that you and I both were not opposed to.
Yeah.
And maybe he has not had success because just South Carolina's football team is not very good.
They got a freshman quarterback too.
Yeah. He's not your average freshman quarterback though. They can't run the ball. That offense has a lot. They've been banged up all year. They can't run the ball. Helinski has played like a freshman at times, but it's not like putting J.T. Stroud in the game.
But he is an average freshman quarterback.
I think
he's an average, talented freshman quarterback who at times makes good plays and then at times makes bonehead freshman plays.
I think he's better than Bo Nix.
I think it's debatable.
Bo Nix can't throw the football right now. He's a freshman relying on his legs.
Ryan Linsky, I saw Ryan Linsky throw the ball in the dirt here in Neyland Stadium, throwing behind people.
Yeah.
Missed a wide open receiver at App State. Like, I saw Linsky make some bad passes too.
Oh, and I'm not trying to say that he hasn't, but if I had to pick one of the two, I would take Linsky.
I don't know which one is better, to be honest. I just know that they're freshmen, and at times they make really good plays, and at times they make boneheaded plays. Consistency is tough for true freshmen. Look at our true freshmen. Do we have one true freshman on our football team that has played this season that we could point out as consistent? Who?
Henry To'oTo'o.
Who else?
That's probably it.
Probably it.
Eric Gray has not been consistent. Brian Maurer has not been consistent. Wanye has not been consistent. Maybe Darnell Wright.
He ain't been consistent.
He's been more consistent than Wanye, which is why I paused there for a moment. Tennessee hasn't had anybody along the defensive line play as a freshman. Elijah Simmons got in for a couple of snaps here and there, but no defensive lineman has really played. Crouch has not been consistent. Roman Harrison has not been consistent. Henry To'oTo'o is having a freshman All-American type season. Jalen McCullough has not been consistent. Warren Burrell, we haven't even seen him since his ankle injury going into the Georgia game, except for on special teams.
Yeah, injuries.
I think I mentioned Eric Gray. So, no, Henry To'oTo'o has been the only freshman to play consistent football this season.
Yeah, I mean, he's had injuries and things like that. So I'm not poo-pooing on our freshman class because we've had a lot of guys play and play well. But my point is, it's hard to expect a true freshman to be consistent from September all the way to December. It's tough. It's very, very tough. And Henry To'oTo'o is really the only guy that we could point to. So going back to the quarterbacks between Bo Nix and Ryan Linsky, they're going to be good at their schools.
Right.
But when you're looking at Will Muschamp and the job that he's done, number one, toughest schedule in the country. You lose your quarterback to injury. You're playing a true freshman. Tough spot for Will Muschamp. Real tough spot.
I would love to see Brian McClendon on staff as just purely an assistant coach, like you were saying.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a great recruiter.
Now, what is his kind of position?
He's coached.
I know
he's coached running backs before, and he's coached receivers. That's his position.
Yeah.
He played at Georgia. He was a receiver at Georgia, and I think he has coached running backs at Georgia as well. I think, but coaching running backs is not that tough. So
yeah. But I'm glad we got Jim Chaney.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not even a debate on which one I would rather have between Jim Chaney and Brian McClendon. Brian McClendon is just a great recruiter. So
I mean, as both of us said on Monday, Jim Chaney is the second best offensive coordinator in the SEC right now, and that is behind the duo at LSU. And really behind Joe Brady.
And honestly, over the last 5 years, Jim Chaney has proven to be the best offensive coordinator in the SEC. It's just that this year, what LSU has done has been remarkable, but it's easy to do that with great players.
Well, and also Joe Brady has come out of nowhere. Let's see how Joe Brady adjusts when Nick Saban figures out his defense, when Jimbo Fisher and his coaching staff figures out his offense. So once that LSU offense gets figured out, the Joe Brady offense gets figured out, let's see how he makes adjustments.
Yeah.
Because at some point, opposing defenses will figure it out. I mean, that's what happened to Gus.
Yeah.
Gus's offense was unbeatable. They're 2013 and there for a couple of seasons, and now everybody has figured it out. They can't establish the run, and now they can't do anything on offense.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. You're right. 865-255-03B drop waterproofing hotline. Going back to the text box, Justin says, is it mean of me that I don't want to see Alabama in the college football playoff ever again? Time for some new blood like us in a few years. Well, Justin, if you think you're mean because you don't want to see Alabama in the college football playoff, how do you feel about me who don't want to see Alabama win another football game? You're supposed to feel that way. I don't want to see Bama win a game anymore. That's how I feel as a Tennessee fan. At the end of the day, being a college football fan, I want to see the best 4 teams play and compete.
Absolutely.
So we get the best of both worlds this year because we don't like Alabama as Tennessee fans. And Alabama right now is not one of the top 4 teams. So, boom. We're good to go. We're good to go. Let's see here on the text box. Y'all ain't got no sense, Volstorm, especially you. No sense. No sense, Volstorm. You ain't got any sense at all. Vols Made Texas says, I enjoy both backs, but I'd rather have Tim Jordan because Eric Gray is really shifty and gives you another element that Tim Jordan doesn't have. Yeah, we talked about which running back would you rather have between Tim Jordan and Ty Chandler, and that's a really hard question. But if I was running back coach, I would probably go with Tim Jordan because of ball security, because of his ability to run block and pick up tough yards and break tackles. But being able to make guys miss and catching the ball out of the backfield is also very, very important, which is why the question is very difficult. Let's go back to the phones. Turkey Man, good morning.
Good morning, individuals. How are we doing today?
We're good, man.
Good. Hey, I'm like you. I don't want to ever see Alabama in another playoff. But you know me. I just look at the situations. I can see a scenario that they could come in and be in the playoff. And that scenario, good quarterback. Every team's one snap away from losing their quarterback. Look at what we went through this year. If Alabama took your business and they're sitting on the sideline waiting for the LSU and say Georgia to play in the SEC championship, if by chance Georgia got to they beat LSU in the championship game, but they lost the game maybe Texas A&M or vice versa. If there's 2 loss or 1 loss there in LSU, then you got Alabama there with 1 loss. I mean, you could see that scenario that could play out. It's come close. That's what happened last time, wasn't it? Similar to that, wasn't it?
Yeah, Alabama got lucky last time because they didn't win their division. Auburn won that division, and then Auburn got beat down by Georgia in the SEC championship game, and then it allowed Alabama to get back in.
Right. But anything can happen in football. I mean, just anything. But I'm like you. I don't want to see it happening.
I don't want to see Alabama win another game.
Look,
I don't feel bad about that.
Alabama has a gymnastics team. I hope they lose every game. I hope Alabama loses in every sport, every single time. I hope they never win another game in anything. In fact, I hope all of their programs get the death penalty. I hope the University of Alabama gets the death penalty, and they never exist ever again. I hate Alabama, and I hope they go to you-know-where.
Well, who do you think will be in the playoffs? Is there your 4?
I think it's going to be Clemson. I think it's going to be Oregon. I think it's going to be LSU. And I think it's going to be Ohio State. I don't see Oklahoma getting in.
What's going to be? I think the same thing. I do too. I think it's going to be the same thing. But I think we'll have 1 representative in the SEC this year in the playoffs. Yeah. I'll talk to you later, guys.
All right, thank you, Turkey Man. Appreciate the phone call. Let's keep it moving this morning. And who we got next?
Volstorm.
Volstorm is next. Volstorm, good morning.
I don't ever want to see Bama back in the playoffs.
No.
Ever.
Exactly. I mean, why would you? If you are a Tennessee fan or Auburn fan, why would you want to see Alabama win at anything?
No. revel in the misfortune of our opponents.
That's what being a fan is all about, right?
Yeah, you don't think that whenever an opponent's fixing to play Tennessee, they look and go, okay, well, he's hurt, he's got an injured hand, I don't ever want to see anybody, have what Tua happened to him, but at the same time, any type of advantage we can get, I'm going to take.
Listen, I want the top 4 teams to play in the college football playoff as a fan, but as a Tennessee fan, I get giddy when things go wrong at Alabama, except for when a player gets hurt. I don't like that. But I want our opponents to lose all the time. That's what you're supposed to say and how you're supposed to feel.
Yeah, I think the way the playoffs going to shape up is you're going to have LSU, you're going to have Ohio State, you're going to have Clemson, and then you're probably going to have Georgia.
You think Georgia's going to get in? You think Georgia's going to beat LSU?
Having a big enough resume to get in.
What if Georgia beats LSU in the SEC championship game? And as crazy as it sounds, I think Georgia is the team not named Ohio State, not named Clemson, that is best suited to beat LSU because Georgia has the defense to somewhat slow down Joe Burrow and that offense. And then you consider what LSU's defense has done over the last couple of weeks. Yes, the Georgia offense has struggled recently, but they could put up some points against LSU's defense. So if Georgia beats LSU in the championship game,
I think if Georgia wins, that will all but ensure my playoff prediction. Because then LSU's only loss is going to be in that championship game. Yeah, they'll be sitting there at 4, but I think that will definitely keep Bama out of the playoffs.
I think Georgia beating LSU in the SEC championship game opens up the door for Utah or Oregon, whichever one of those teams runs the table and wins the Pac-12 championship. Because then you have Ohio State and Clemson 1 and 2. Then you have Georgia sliding up to number 3 probably, and then that opens up the door for either LSU completely falling out or falling to number 4. And I think if LSU falls out, that opens the door for Utah or Oregon, assuming they take care of business going forward.
Can't leave LSU out.
Even if they lose to Georgia?
No.
Can't do it. No, you can't do it, man.
What if they lose in embarrassing fashion?
That might be a different conversation, but LSU has 4 top 10 wins.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Auburn. They beat Texas. They beat Alabama. They beat Florida. Their resume is better than really anyone else's resume in college football. How do you keep them out if they lose an SEC championship game? I'm sorry. I'm bumping a Pac-12 team. I'll put in 2 SEC teams. As much as I hate that, because trust me, I don't want to see one SEC team in the college football playoff. Y'all think I'm joking about this whole SEC loyalty that y'all think is okay?
I don't think.
But I think it's asinine as a Tennessee fan to be rooting for another SEC team. I don't want to see any SEC team in the college football playoff. But just speaking truth, I think if Georgia beats LSU, then they both deserve to be in college football playoff. With Ohio State, if they take care of business, and Clemson, if they continue to take care of business. I think those are your most deserving 4 teams if that were to play out, Georgia beating LSU.
Now, has Georgia played anybody with a high-powered offense?
Depends on which Notre Dame team shows up week to week.
Notre Dame was not high-powered when they played.
Those Big Ten type teams are slow.
Yeah.
They took it to Navy this past weekend. They had about 77 points at the end of the first quarter.
Well, they also have better athletes than Navy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the service academies, but the reason that they lose is because they don't have those D1 athletes like big schools have.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be interesting here in the next couple of weeks, man. See what happens.
Guys, before I go, I really appreciate Penny saying that he's moved past the whole situation from last year, considering that he's the one that is at fault for all this. See you, boys!
See ya, boys!
Boy. See ya, boy.
See ya, boy! It's Flavor Flav. Thanks for the phone call, Vol Storm, 865-250-5503, B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. We will take a quick timeout and return after these messages.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
The holidays are right around the corner, which means holiday party season will be here before you know it. This year, how about a dead-end rendition on your holiday tradition? Get festive at your holiday party with a catered meal from Dead End Barbecue. Their holiday menu offers traditional dishes with a dead-end twist, like their smoked turkey breast and cornbread dressing. To find out more about how Dead End can help you with your holiday party, give them a call at 865-212-5655 or email catering at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The holiday party menu search is over.
Soreness, bumps, and bruises are a part of everyday life, whether you're a Vol or not. Surgery can be too, even for weekend warriors. Something that can get you back to feeling your best is therapeutic massage. If you've had surgery or are feeling the wear and tear of life, give our friends at In Touch Massage Knoxville a visit. They have a hand-picked staff and offer a clinical focus for folks going through joint replacement and cancer treatment. They serve neurological patients like those being treated for MS, ALS, and Parkinson's. Their staff even includes a lymphedema specialist. Plus, they offer a great relaxation massage. Don't ignore your pain any longer. Let the therapists from In Touch Massage Knoxville help. Located just west of downtown Knoxville at 601 South Concord Street, or find them online at intouchmassagenknoxville.com and on the phone at 865-236-1425.
Due to a special purchase, Beatty Chevrolet has over 100 pre-owned crossovers and SUVs at tremendous savings during the $1 Million Markdown event. 100 crossovers and SUVs from Chevrolet, Ford, Nissan, Volkswagen, Toyota, Honda, Mazda, and more. All makes and models starting at $89.95. And we'll buy your vehicle on the spot. Plus, get the Beatty warranty for life during the $1 Million Markdown. Only at Beatty Chevrolet in Knoxville or shop BeattyChevrolet.com. Sale prices plus tax, title, and license.
Do you want a custom-themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Then look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. All of their bottles and tumblers are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the tumbler market. New this year are their stemless 12-ounce tumblers, perfect for repping your team while enjoying your favorite wine. They also have new 3-in-1 jackets to use as a koozie for a can or bottle, or you can pop a lid on it and use it as a 12-ounce tumbler or coffee cup. Be sure to check out everything Game Time Sidekicks has to offer at GameTimeSidekicks.com. Game Time Sidekicks, helping fans show your colors and carry your team with unique gear you will actually use. We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at
599-3799.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Hour 3 here in the Swain Event is powered by Low T Center and LowTCenter.com, reinventing men's healthcare. It is Men's Health Month, November, which means Low T Center wants to offer you an awesome special, $49 for home sleep tests and a comprehensive health assessment, complete comprehensive health assessment there at Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. So make sure you check them out on their website for more information. Location here in Knoxville is 865-392-1388. That's their telephone number. And there's multiple locations in Tennessee and around the country. So when you look at this Tennessee football team and you look at some of their national rankings at certain categories, it could be offense, it could be defense, it could be special teams, return yards, it could be anything. There's so many different statistics that we can look at with Tennessee and look at where they are from a national standpoint and from a conference standpoint. There's some stats where Tennessee is really, really good in and high. There's some stats where Tennessee is not so great. So my question to Ben and my question to you, the listener, if you are someone who likes to look at the stats and kind of compare and measure Tennessee up against the rest of the league and the rest of the nation, my question to Ben, in regards to this football game against Missouri, which stat where Tennessee is either ranked nationally in a favorable position or ranked in the conference in a favorable position do you feel good about that's going to help us beat Missouri? So I ask Ben again, which stat where Tennessee looks good in right now do you like the most that you think is going to help Tennessee beat Missouri?
From a Tennessee perspective, looking at Tennessee statistics, it's the red zone defense and the red zone offense. So I don't feel good about Tennessee's red zone offense stats, as you would imagine.
Tell us what you feel good about first.
What I feel good about first is Tennessee's red zone defense.
Okay.
It ranks 5th in the conference. Teams are only scoring 78.4% of the time. And, yes, that seems high, but Ole Miss and Arkansas, South Carolina, Mississippi State, those are some of the worst red zone defenses. They are allowing teams to score 83%, 85%, 86% of the time when their opponent reaches the red zone. So although 78.4% seems high for Tennessee, that's actually a pretty good number because you got to think in the red zone, the percentages are very high of at least a team kicking a field goal. So I think we all know that Tennessee has played great bend but don't break defense throughout the season. So that's what I feel good about. But then on the flip side, kind of sticking to the same topic of conversation is the red zone offense. I mean, I haven't felt good about the red zone offense all season long, and the stats, replicate that feeling or coincide with that feeling. Tennessee is tied for 9th and 10th in the SEC in red zone offense with South Carolina, only scoring 77% of the time when they reach the red zone. 16 touchdowns. They are 11 for 11 in field goals when in the red zone, which is great, but you don't want to kick field goals when you reach the red zone.
Field goals are great if field goals are worth 7 points.
Right.
So red zone offense, you mentioned 9th, 10th in the SEC, and Tennessee is 104th in the nation. You mentioned red zone defense is something that you feel good about against Missouri. Tennessee is 5th in the conference and 31st in the country. For me, one thing I like about
a stat that's favorable for us against Missouri, and I mentioned this earlier in the week. I think it might have been yesterday actually, and that is Tennessee is third in the country in interceptions. Tennessee is second in the conference in interceptions. Because an interception, and I'm going to relate this to basketball. One thing basketball coaches hate is turnovers. But there's different types of turnovers in basketball. There's live ball turnovers. There's dead ball turnovers. Live ball turnovers get you beat just like dead ball turnovers, but live ball turnovers are more dangerous because now you're giving up fast break points.
Yep.
At least a dead ball turnover, the ball's thrown out of bounds on a bad pass, at least your defense can go set up. You got all 5 guys getting back, setting up, and then you can get a good stop on defense. But a live ball turnover, now you're giving up maybe a 3-on-2, 3 versus 1 transition bucket. That's a problem. When you look at interceptions for Tennessee, defense can turn to instant offense. If we can just get Najee Warrior a smaller shoe, we're talking about 7 to 14 points just returning an interception for a touchdown. That is something that Kelly Bryant has had difficult times with in the last 5 games. He's thrown 3 interceptions. Creating instant offense with defense is something that I look at the stats. It's in Tennessee's favor. Interceptions. Again, second in the conference. Trails Florida by 1. And then you have Tennessee sitting at third in the country. A stat that I do not feel great about at all is the stat that you mentioned.
Red zone offense.
Red zone offense. Because it really doesn't matter how great you are from 25 to 25. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how great you are from 30 to 30. But when you get to the red zone, that's when you have to be more disciplined. That's when you have to execute your assignments better. It's when you got to make plays. You got to catch the ball over somebody. You got to make an acrobatic catch like Josh Palmer did against Kentucky, getting 1 tippy toe down. You got to make those plays in the red zone. It gets tighter. The windows are tighter. The time you have to throw the ball is shorter. Going back to the Florida game with Juwan Jennings getting hit in the red zone, in the end zone, when he made that attempted catch, but it resulted in an interception. Look at the South Carolina game. When he caught that pass in the end zone, we were in the red zone. What happened after he caught it? He got blasted. There's not much space in the red zone, so now you got to be that much more efficient, and we have not been able to do that. Now, we have been fortunate that we have one of the best kickers in the country, and we've been able to go 11 for 11 in the red zone. But that's going to get you beat. Hopefully it doesn't get you beat against Missouri, Vanderbilt, or the bowl game.
Right.
But it can get you beat. And you hope that Missouri don't come out and just have a really good day. Because we look at Missouri and how they played this season, we should feel good about our chances. But this is football.
They still have the talent to beat Tennessee.
Anything can happen.
It's just Derek Dooley has not done a great job of getting that talent to play great football. And I tell you what, we talk about Tennessee stats and what we feel good about, what we don't feel good about, what gives us confidence, what doesn't give us confidence. Looking at Missouri stats, there are a couple of statistics that Missouri does well in, but there are a lot of statistics that make me feel good about this football game. And just to go through a few, their offense, nearly in every single statistic, is terrible, especially on third down. I mean, just absolutely struggles on third down. Their third down conversion, not only do they struggle on third down, but they also don't pick up a ton of first downs. On third down, they're converting just 36% of the time, which is 11th in the SEC. And then in terms of picking up first downs, they rank at the bottom of the league as well. They rank 10th. They're picking up 20.9 first downs per game. So third down offensively, they just really struggle. And then looking at some other offensive statistics for Missouri, they haven't scored in 30 possessions, a touchdown in 30 possessions. The last 4 games, they are averaging 6.8 points per game. And then their running backs, Larry Roundtree and Tyler Beatty, combined for 14 carries last week against Florida. So, and part of that was Missouri got down early, and they had to throw the ball a ton in hopes that they could catch back up on the scoreboard. And according to Derek Dooley, he called a lot of RPOs, and Kelly Bryant chose to throw the football on a lot of those RPOs called. So offensively, they really struggle on third down. They struggle to pick up first downs in general. And their special teams play is not good. Missouri is not good on special teams. Their punt return average ranks 12th in the SEC. Their kickoff coverage, it ranks 10th in the SEC in general, but it has improved during SEC play. They're third in the SEC in kickoff coverage. They're punting, 7th in the SEC. They are terrible at kicking extra points. They have missed 3 extra points this season. They rank second to last in extra points, and that may not seem like a big deal, but we saw how big a missed extra point can be when Tennessee beat Kentucky 2 weeks ago. Kickoff returns, 12th in the SEC. They've struggled kicking the field goal, or just normal field goal attempts they have struggled with. Tucker McCann has kind of been all over the place. He's played better of late, but he has struggled kind of overall this season. And then particularly in the Florida game, Kyle Trask and Dan Mullen picked on sophomore corner Jarvis Ware, number 8, all game long, and was able to have a lot of success against him. So
Let's go.
with Tennessee having an advantage with Juwan Jennings, Marquez Callaway, and Josh Palmer, Jennings will obviously be in the slot more often than not. So maybe this is more of a Josh Palmer, Marquez Callaway type advantage. But with Tennessee having 3 NFL receivers going up against a sophomore corner who just got picked on, I expect Jim Chaney to do the exact same thing and really highlight him in the scouting report, in the game plan. And I expect whether it be JG, whether it be Maurer, whether it be Shrout, I think we all know it'll be JG or Maurer, but I expect for them to really pick on Jarvis Ware and have an advantage in that aspect of the game.
Missouri against Florida was 5 for 18 on third down. But let's dive in a little bit deeper, Ben, because we understand that the offense not converting on third downs, it impacts the defense. Mm-hmm. We saw that in the Florida game for Tennessee. Tennessee could not pick up third downs, had a couple 3-and-outs, and the defense wore down. When you look at the Tennessee-Florida game in the first half, Tennessee wasn't that bad except for the opening drive. But over time, they wore down, and Florida was able to kind of get up and down the field on us. Missouri, Ben, their first possession of the game, 3-and-out. They had 3-and-outs in the first quarter. Excuse me, in the first half. So they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possessions in the first half. Ben, 1, 2, 3 of those possessions were 3-and-out. So half of their possessions in the first half were 3-and-outs.
They punted 10 times against Florida.
So one of those 3-and-out possessions, 2 minutes, 3 seconds. Another one, they got 5 yards in 3 plays. 1 minute, 24 seconds. Another 3-and-out, 1 minute, 20 seconds. So 3 possessions, and you've given your defense a total of 6 minutes to rest.
Not great.
Okay. In the second half, Missouri opened the second half with a 3-and-out. 1 minute, 52 seconds. Their second possession, Missouri, 3-and-out. 50 seconds.
50 seconds, the defense got the rest and make adjustments. Okay? The third possession, 7 plays, 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Next possession, 9 plays, they punt. Next possession, 6 plays, they punt. Next possession after that, 3 plays, 51 seconds. And then the last possession of the game, they threw an interception.
Their offense is abysmal. I mentioned it. They have not scored a touchdown in 30 straight possessions. They are averaging 6.8 points per game over the last 4 games, and that includes a game against Vanderbilt, which Vanderbilt has a terrible defense. So against Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt, Missouri averaged 6.8 points per game. Their offense is simply abysmal. And looking at them overall during SEC play, their scoring offense, 13th in SEC play, 10th in rushing offense, 8th in passing offense, and just in terms of total offense, they're averaging 336 yards per game, which is 11th best in the conference. So they are just abysmal on offense. So Tennessee will have the advantage in terms of Tennessee's defense and on special teams. Now, defensively for Missouri, they are legit. And as Swain just alluded to, the offense puts them in a lot of really bad situations. We talk about how poor Missouri is offensively on third down. Defensively, they are really good. Defensively, they are allowing teams to only convert 30% of the time on third down, which is 4th best in the SEC. And then in terms of opposing offenses picking up first downs, Missouri's defense allows the fewest first downs per game, only allowing 15 first downs each game. So defense is very stout. And points allowed ranks 5th in the SEC. Rushing yards, 5th in the SEC. Passing yards, 1st in the SEC. Now, the passing yards allowed per game has kind of slipped during SEC play.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4th in SEC play, whereas overall they are 1st in the conference. And then total defense has also slipped a little bit. Overall, they are 2nd in total defense, but when you look at their SEC numbers, they are 5th in total defense. So they are abysmal on offense, and they are much better on defense. So I don't really know who to give the advantage to in terms of Tennessee's offense going up against Missouri's defense. To me, it comes down to what we talked about yesterday, the interior of Tennessee's offensive line. How well can Trey Smith, Brandon Kennedy, Jerome Carvin, those guys handle Jordan Elliott and Kobe Whiteside on the interior of Missouri's defensive line? That, to me, will probably win or lose Tennessee the football game, assuming that Missouri just doesn't have a breakout game offensively.
How do you keep Missouri off the scoreboard? This is what Missouri did against Florida. They only scored 6 points, Ben, but in the 2 field goals that they made, on one of those possessions where they kicked the field goal, they had a 24-yard game, so they had an explosive play. Then they had a 44-yard play to Jalen Knox. So they started on their own 10, and in 2 plays was at Florida's 22. What is that? That's the red zone. So they made plays in the open field, could not make any plays in the red zone, and then had to kick a field goal. The second field goal they made against Florida was because they had great field position to start their drive. They started their drive on Florida's 46-yard line and made a 9-yard run, a 14-yard pass, and then was already at Florida's 23-yard line. And then Caleb Bryant got sacked to kick the field goal. Limit explosive plays, make Missouri pick up 4-yard runs, 9-yard passing plays, force them to put together long drives because they can't do it.
No,
they can't do it.
They can't, and I continue to say that the offense from Missouri is abysmal. I mean, it truly is. Statistics aside, they lack playmakers at receiver. There's thoughts of benching Albert O, their NFL prospect, because his mind hasn't been all that into it. He had a drop against Florida. He had a bad personal foul penalty against Florida, so he's struggling. The offensive line has regressed throughout the season. I mentioned that they lack playmakers at wide receiver. Jalen Knox is their best wide receiver, the most explosive wide receiver, and he's limited in playing time because he's not producing. Kelly Bryant has been indecisive, takes a few shots down the field. Their offense is, as Derek Dooley put it yesterday, is in football hell right now.
Swain event.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
For a limited time only, Hiller is offering 0% interest financing for up to 48 months on qualifying high-efficiency HVAC systems. With no down payment required, expert installations, and convenient monthly payments, now is the perfect time to schedule. Visit happyhiller.com today.
Call the happy face truck today.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. The next thing you know, you're being arrested for DUI. Be responsible, but remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call DUI and criminal defense attorney Marcos Garza. Put this number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty, say Garza. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
Gentlemen, are you feeling tired and grumpy? It could be low T, or it could be sleep apnea. Millions of men not only suffer from low T, but also undiagnosed sleep apnea. Low T Center provides a complete health assessment to check all of your levels. And right now, they're offering a $49 home sleep test to find out if you have sleep apnea in the comfort of your own bed. Low T Center makes it quick and easy to take care of your health. And most health insurance is accepted. Call 865-392-1388 or go to lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey, Mr. Max, you heard the lowdown? Nah, homie, give me the word on what's going on. Tell them what it is, Big Will.
Mac, now the lowdown is no money down, only at the new Open Franklin Motors in Alcoa. No money down at the new Open Franklin Motors in Alcoa. Not $1,000 down, not $100 down, not even a nickel down. Low down, no down, only at the new Open Franklin Motors in Alcoa. 2 minutes from the airport, so fly on down to the new Open Franklin Motors next to Walmart, home of the original low down, no down payment. That is, why would you buy from anywhere else when you know we gonna get you done? Good credit, bad credit, slow credit, we will get you approved. So come on down to 911 Louisville Road, the new Open Franklin Motors next to Walmart, or call 865-980-8216. Turn down for what?
It's going to be partly sunny today with a high of 57 and a low of 38. More sunshine tomorrow with a high near 64 and a low around 49 with a 30% chance of rain overnight. Showers likely on Friday with a high near 60. Weather on the Swain event is brought to you by B-Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, B-Dry can help. BDry.com. Do you have sloping or uneven floors, foundation cracks, or a leaning chimney? Do your windows and doors not open properly, or are there gaps where the floor and walls meet? Don't worry, B-Dry offers approved foundation repair solutions like steel I-beams, helical piering, epoxy injections, carbon fiber applications, and more. Make sure that your home is on stable ground with B-Dry. Call them at 865-588-0454 or find them online at bdry.com.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain event app.
Hopefully Tennessee goes crazy.
I see what you did there.
On Missouri this weekend. We hope. We hope so. We hope so, man. This stretch run of really good football play, it's pleasing to the eye. And Tennessee is on the way up. And a team that we lost to last year, year before that, 3 years in a row, 16, 17, 18, South Carolina, going in the opposite direction. It's crazy how things change in the SEC in this conference. It's amazing because it's different. Let's go to the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Let's bring in Devontae.
Devontae, good morning.
The reason right there. You just explained the reason why it shouldn't be no Memphis-Tennessee rivalry. You just explained it, talking about the SEC and that little 5 to 10 second segment you just had right there. That explains it all right there. I don't know why people want this Memphis-Tennessee rivalry. Look, man, I'm from Memphis. I'm gonna tell you something. In football, we don't need it in football, but every 4-5 years, because the SEC talent should the Tennessee Volunteers should always beat Memphis Tiger football. And in basketball, it's the other way around. It's just plain and simple. Y'all, Tennessee Vols got them last year, but Memphis probably win the next 2 years. Yeah. So, hey, we don't need this rivalry. It ain't no rivalry. Both teams can set up better schedules basketball-wise. So, hey, let's just get that out there. People shouldn't be mad about that. Let's not worry about that. Let's just see each other in the tournament or something. But I really called to talk about football, man.
Okay.
I know I came out of there full speed right there.
It's all right.
But I've been watching a little Missouri these last couple of days from different games they have played. I picked my games that I watched them play. And, man, I know we don't got the best pass offense. That's probably the worst thing about this Tennessee Volunteer team is the pass offense. But, man, their DBs are horrible, man. Whew. Y'all think we get over 200 yards passing on them, man?
You should. No reason why we shouldn't.
So, okay, let me ask you guys. Y'all feel like it? Because me personally, you know, I'm gonna call Friday and go crazy, give y'all my foolish Friday. But I honestly think we can beat these guys by 2 to 3 touchdowns. Now I know this might sound crazy, knowing that they didn't beat us the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty bad. But I honestly think this the year we give them the whooping that they need, man. Do y'all think it'll be that high of a scoring game? I know the other day, I know you said it might be a low scoring game. But how y'all feeling about this game, honestly?
I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think after the bye week, I think Tennessee's going to come out a little bit flat. And listen, the opposite could happen. I think they'll come out flat or they'll come out like gangbusters, one of the two, with that bye week. But if I had to pick one, I'm going flat. And I think they'll settle in and they'll win by 7, 10 points, maybe even 4 points. I don't know, but I think it's going to be a close game. Playing up there, it's going to be cold. I don't think the crowd's going to give Tennessee much problems because Missouri fans may be a little bit apathetic because of the way the season has gone so far. But I just don't see how Missouri's going to be able to put up enough points against this defense right now and how they're playing.
Yeah, man. I feel like, me personally, I feel like Missouri is one of the more hyped teams in the SEC this year just because of what they, toward the beginning of the season anyway, because right now it speaks for itself. But I always thought they was one of the more hyped teams. And this Barry Odom defense, I never thought it was good even when they was beating us. So I honestly think we'll come out like some headbangers because I watched a lot of these kids Instagram, and a lot of these kids was focused during the bye week. Now, we had the freshmen, they went out and partied, but there's only a select few of freshmen. We got a lot of kids, man, that was focused this week, locked in. So I think they know what the task at hand is, man, to finish this business and especially the seniors leave this program in a better condition than what they got it in.
That's the hope, Devontae. Thanks so much for the phone call. Really appreciate it. Let's keep it moving. Let's get to Andy. Andy, good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Wonderful, Andy. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Man, I tell you what. I got a good feeling about this weekend. I really thought it was funny what our ex-coach said, Mr. Derek Dooley. I'm like, I laughed so hard. I'm like, easy, killer. Like, we might not beat you that bad. We might let off the gas. But I hope y'all have a good day, and as always, go Vols.
Thanks for the phone call, Andy. And
Derek Dooley certainly had a different type of energy last year. He knew Tennessee was struggling and had himself an NFL first-round caliber quarterback and was probably feeling himself a lot. Didn't mind putting up those points. But you are in a different position, Mr. Derek Dooley. Offense is not confident. They don't have any rhythm at all. And I played on an offense where you just can't get it going. You can't figure out why. The timing is off. The confidence is not there. It's just out of sync. And you can't get anything accomplished. I've been on that type of offense. I've been on an offense where, you're clicking. You are clicking. And LSU obviously is clicking on all cylinders on offense. But Missouri's offense, they can't do anything right. Let's hope that continues, though. What you do last week doesn't mean it's going to be what you do this week. So it's Tennessee's job to make sure they force Missouri to continue to make those mistakes.
Let me ask you this. A storyline that is not being talked about is that Saturday is senior night for Missouri. You think that plays into Tennessee's favor or plays against Tennessee's favor? I know senior night kind of works differently for everybody. Everybody kind of reacts in their own personal way to senior night. It affects some more than others, but from the outside looking in, if you had to guess how it would benefit or work against Tennessee, which way would you side?
I think it benefits Tennessee. I think whenever you have senior night and you do something different in your pregame preparation, it adds a distraction. That's why Tennessee got rid of it. Pruitt got rid of it. And I understand why he got rid of it, and I'm glad he did. Now, it does take away the fans' opportunity to honor their seniors and give them the standing ovation they deserve individually, but it does affect the flow of the football game. So, yeah, I expect Missouri to come out a little bit flat because of senior day. If they honor their players individually or they have some type of pregame ceremony for the seniors, yeah, I think it helps Tennessee. I do. 865-255-03, B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Got a few seconds before we wrap up today's show. Tomorrow we'll be joined by TJ Moe, former Missouri wide receiver. And he always is honest. He's always candid. And I want to know how he's feeling right now about Missouri currently and kind of the future of Missouri. And I know he does not mind calling out players for not getting it done. Because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. There's guys on that football team that's just not getting it done. We can sit here and blame the coaches all day long. Not saying the coaches are not held responsible. They are. But the players got to make the plays too. They have to make the plays. And something is not flowing up there at Missouri. Something is off. Derek Dooley may be the sacrificial lamb. He may be on his way out for Barry Odom to survive. We'll find all of that out tomorrow when we talk to our good friend TJ Moe.
Tennessee basketball tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Econs dropping 30.
I want to see him rip the rim off the backboard.
I want to see him post.
He can do it. He's just being too nice.
I want to see him put somebody in his body bag with him.
Yeah, I want to see it too, man. Tennessee tonight. For Ben McKee and Jason Swain, have a great day. Peace and love.